gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smoooth. When it's about sports and business continues to pick up, especially in March. We got a lot of madness going on in this month. How you doing, buddy? Let's go. Let's get it. Hey. Going crazy. Hey, it's a good time for high schools. It's a good time for colleges. It's incredible. Spring training. You got about 2 weeks left to go until it's the real deal. What's it called? Daylight savings time just came this past weekend, so now we get the sun out a little bit longer. It just feels great because we prime time. That's how we do it. We prime time. So what's good, Joey? I know you said during the pre-show, like, hey, this week needs to be over already, but what's going on with you? Let the church say amen. Facts. Hey, you know what? Hold on, Bunny. People can't hear you. Hold on real quick. We gotta make sure that they can hear you. Hold on. For some reason they can't hear you. Hold on. Give me 1 second, everybody. We're gonna make sure that y'all can hear Bunny clearly. Got to see what's going on with her microphone here, on her end, should I say? Give me 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, Miss Williams, like, hey, I can hear you, but they can't hear me. Let's find out. Give me 1 second, everybody. We'll get this right. Let's see. Yeah, because she says hi, Fred, and hi, Bunny, but she can't hear you. So we'll get it right, everyone. We apologize for the issues. Right. She says, quick commercial break, y'all. But we got y'all. Hold on real quick. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I know what's wrong. Hold on, everybody. All right, Bunny, now go ahead and talk.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hey, Gino.
All right, there we go. Now, can y'all hear Bunny? Let me know before we keep
Give
on
me a
going.
shout out. I'm sorry, Stanley. That's my knucklehead brother.
Let me know in the comments if y'all can hear Bunny. Give me some thumbs up or say, yep, I can hear.
Hey, Miss Williams. I'm trying to see the comments to see if
Yep.
we good.
They coming in. I'm just waiting just to make sure, get the confirmation before we go ahead and continue with this wonderful show. Yeah, I think I just heard your, yep. Okay, yep, you're good to go now.
All good in the hood. Let's do this.
All right, so once again, it is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Your boy Smoooth along with
Bunny.
when it's about sports.
You know what? It becomes our business. Can't believe that.
There we go. And once again, March Madness business just picked up. Okay, so I'm going to ask you one more again. How you doing, Bunny? What's going on with you? You doing a whole little rewind. I got to make sure everybody gets everything in. You got to get everything in. They have to hear you. They have to hear you. You know what I'm saying?
Long story short, I'm happy to be alive. Happy Hump Day. I know some people are celebrating a different tradition or a little other people holiday. I want the same excitement when Juneteenth comes. Make sense?
There we go.
All right. And of course, March Madness.
There it is. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. We look forward to having a great show for you tonight. This show has been going down for almost 4 years next month. Every Wednesday, we've been consistent. We give y'all great guests. We give y'all great content, great topics to discuss, great production by you, of course, yours truly. Hope y'all enjoying it. And we just want y'all to enjoy yourselves. But the first thing we want y'all to do is like this stream. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, like this stream right now. And not just like it, but share it. We want to get so many people tuned in to our show tonight and show our special guest some love. If you have any thoughts on any sports topic, this is your opportunity to let your mindset just be creative, and you can just type in and you see on your screen the comments will be flowing through. If you're on Facebook, you have to comment under the Platform Sports Talk Show. If you comment under my page or Bunny or our special guest tonight, we can't see it on this screen. You have to comment if you are on Facebook. Comment under the Platform Sports Talk Show so we can interact, because we are very big, Bunny, aren't we? We are very big on interacting with our guests and getting all the comments, and we can just have a good time with you. So do not be shy. Show love. Give us your thoughts. Give us your debating topics. We got you. Is that right, Bunny?
You know it. You see, I'm over here acting a fool, just clowning, doing this. Like, hey, bring the comments on. Smooth, with that Smoooth Productions logo in the background. Mr. Jack of all trades, how you doing? What's going on in your world?
Man, hey, you know what? I'm straight. Work has been a little bit crazy, but, you know, I always feel like ain't nothing that God gonna put before me I can't handle. So I'm gonna make sure I do what I gotta do. But, you know, at the end of the day, gotta still be representing what I do. Mr. Jack of all trades right there. Gotta do my producing, my DJing, my hosting, my everything. Because if I don't do my everything, I ain't doing my damn job. So I'm just...
Right. Yeah, look, y'all wouldn't hear me if he wasn't doing his damn job. Let's shout out to our sound engineer and graphic design artist, graphic specialist, talent, what do you call it? On-air talent person. What do you call it? Well, I guess it's anchor. Who's the person that finds the talent? All of that. That's you.
There we go.
Mr. Jack of all trades.
Hey, at the end of the day, like my mom says, you know, to God be the glory, because without him, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. It may not be to the best production or whatever it is, but it's still smooth. So at the end of the day, I'm good. That's all I can say about that. You know what I'm saying? But once again, everybody, also go on YouTube. Subscribe to the Platform Sports Talk Show. Subscribe and then click that. There we go, that bell, because anytime we go live, you
will be notified.
There we go. So keep them shares going throughout the whole night. We want to get so many people to tune in and give us your thoughts, your everything in regards to tonight's show. So, Bunny, let's go ahead and get with it. Real quick though, on a serious note, we want to give our prayers, our condolences to those who were involved, families that was involved in that crazy, stupid mass shooting yesterday when the guy went to the massage parlor and was shooting up people. You know, it's just stupid, senseless killing that's going on, killing these Asians. All the hate that's going on, it's just been, it's crazy. I'm sure when you heard about that story, you probably had thoughts on that. Did you have anything you want to add on to it, Bunny?
First line in my head, just like the stuff that go on in St. Louis. What is wrong with people? Like, what is wrong? Why? And the next thing I think about is, I hope it is mental illness involved. Because I just got to get some understanding. I'd like to go to the places to get my pedicures, manicures. So would I have to sit there and be like, if somebody will come in here and randomly start shooting? Like, I mean, that could be anywhere, anytime, but it's just stupid.
Yeah. And I mean, it's getting to the point that I saw someone's post, like, we need to stop just trying to, what's the word? Just assume that it's just a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? It's more than that. It is really more.
So what the deep, I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist. Is it just evil? What is it? Besides the unlayer, what is it?
Man, obviously you don't have happiness, within you. Something has happened in your life to get you into a dark place, and that's where the devil shines. I'll keep that. I'll just keep it like that. That has to be the number one reason. Is that there's something that has happened in your life that has gotten you to a dark place that you get to a point where you don't care about nobody else, not even yourself. Because if you care about yourself and you love yourself, you wouldn't kill nobody else. Bottom line.
But this is where it really gets on my part. I know it's not the best way to think, and specifically when it comes to murder-suicides. Why won't you just take yourself out? Why do you bother everybody else that has nothing to do with your issue?
Right. And you speaking in regards to that so-called guy that killed his wife and her kids, but kept his child alive, and then he killed himself. This senseless. This is crazy. It's not going down here in St. Louis. It's all around the world. It's crazy, but we just want to pray for those involved, the families who lost a loved one. We know it's not easy, and we just pray for y'all. We pray for better times ahead in this world. It is, like I said, it's crazy right now, but we just have to pray and continue to pray, because right now people have lost God in their lives, and it's showing clearly. It's showing. So we want to pray for all those who's going through so many different difficult times in their life right now. So that being said, on a happier note, you said March Madness. Let's talk about high school. You already know I'm proud. Like, you went to the games to support your sister and the school that she's, assistant coaching, the V. So shouts out, first time ever for my high school for Shine, that the girls are going to state. I think they play is that this weekend they play?
Both of them are this weekend. Cool. Boys and girls are Friday, and whether they win or lose, they play Saturday as well. Because you play for third place if you don't win them.
Yeah, I had my state appearance there. I think it was 1998, I believe. I want to say went to state, and we actually came in third place. We lost against Jefferson City in the first round, and then we had to play the consolation game. And we came in third place. And I got a picture over here in the getaway, and we all were looking sad. Like, we don't want to take this damn picture.
Third place. I know, that's just that. Third place is second place loser.
Right.
My brother always say, second place and first place loser.
And see, that was during the time where it was at the old Hearn Center. So you know I'm old when I'm taking photos at the Hearn Center.
Look, you're not taking any pictures at Columbia now. Even at Missouri Arena, they moved it to Missouri State in Springfield.
Exactly.
It's a little farther drive now.
And then for the boys, once again they back at state. So good luck to my high school. Good luck to like the schools like Cardinal Ritter, who's back to state. All the other schools that we didn't name. Take this time, everyone who's watching right now, no matter what state you're in, represent your school in the comments. Let us know what school is going to state. Show them love, the class, whatever you want to do. Just show them love, and we'll go ahead and shout them out throughout the show. You got some schools you want to name, Bunny?
Well, my alma mater already lost girls to your alma mater, but besides Ritter, what other schools in the area going to state basketball wise?
I can't think of anybody else on top of my head right now.
And spinning off with Vashon, they won their first football game of the season. So you got some schools playing spring ball as their official football season.
Right.
Because they didn't play last fall.
Oh, speaking of which, remember our special guest, Damian Williams?
Yes.
Yeah, he was on our show a while back. The Rittner football team. They're not Williams. What's his last name? Mitchell. Excuse me, Damian Mitchell.
Oh, Super Ego Mitchell.
Yeah, Super Ego. Yeah, his football team, Rittner High School. He's the safety and defensive coordinator coach. They had their first two games over the last 2 weeks. I believe I want to say they 2-0, but they started their season.
Shout out.
Yeah, so to all those schools out there that's holding things down, shouts out to you. We all pray for health and safety. We know that people are getting vaccinations now. Hopefully get to a point down the line that everything is open like Texas, but it's in the right way.
Are you throwing shade to Texas? No.
Hey, they say everything is big in Texas. I hope that don't mean the COVID count. But anyway. Yeah. But yeah, so to all the high schools out there that's going to state, congrats to you. Once again, for those watching, let us know what school, your son, your cousins, whatever, your alma mater, whatever it is. Give them a shout out in the comments. We got y'all coming. So
in the rack.
Yeah, we got y'all, man. We don't hold back. Don't hold back. Now, March Madness is here. Tomorrow is the first four. We're gonna save our predictions until the very end of the show. So stay tuned, because we got that heat. Everybody is going to have their brackets shown on the screen. So everyone stay tuned for that. Let us know throughout the show who you're rolling with, who is your Final Four, and who is your winner in March Madness. This is going to be a very interesting year. We have the number one seeds, Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, and who am I missing? One more team. Tip of the tongue. Golly, who is it? Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, and there's one more team, Bunny. I can't think of it right now.
I gotta Google.
Tip of the tongue. Like I know it. I'm trying to think of it right now. It'll come to me in a second, y'all. Let me see.
Hold on. Wait.
Here we go. I got it right here.
Ohio State.
Is it Ohio? No. They number 2 seed, aren't they?
Oh, are they? Who number? Baylor, Gonzaga, Illinois. No.
Yep, that's it. Michigan. Thank you.
Michigan.
That
Okay.
was it. There we go.
Wrong Big Ten school. My bad, y'all.
Yeah. So Michigan, Illinois, 2 Big Ten schools right there. Gonzaga and Baylor. So, and then for the ladies, South Carolina, who is at NC State, Stanford, and UConn. So it's gonna be exciting. Look forward to it. Once again, right now, share with the people this stream, because we have a nice jam-packed show for y'all. We want to get everyone's comments in. Don't be shy. If you're on Facebook, you have to comment under the platform Sports Talk Show so we can see all of your comments. All right, so now, spring training. Like I said, 2 weeks from now, it's the real deal. Have you been able to see any spring training games from the Cardinals? If so, anything that stuck out to you so far? Any highlights or any concerns?
Have not watched any games, just keeping up with the scores. And what I said a couple months ago when we signed Arenado, our main concern, I think, for the season is pitching. And you see Carlos Martinez got moved back to the starting rotation, and I'm raising my eyebrows. I'm like, okay, he better show up or he going to be shipped out next time. They're not going to let him go back to the bullpen unless he's going to accept that demotion permanently. But that's the only thing that stuck out is the pitching. Everything else, I don't get worried and get caught up too much in spring training because, our starting 9, they're not putting in a lot of time. They're still trying to figure out who else is going to be on the roster. So I'm not worried yet.
Yeah, Miles Michaelis, he has a setback. Shoulder is barking. Not looking too good right now. Maybe one of those situations where he hasn't fully recovered from the Tommy John. So that's a huge setback. Then KK Kim, he had a setback, but he said today he's throwing like from 100 and something feet. So maybe by next week he'll be back into the fold. Jack Flaherty hasn't looked too sharp yet. Like you said, Carlos Martinez, you don't know what to expect with him.
You don't. That's why I raised my eyebrows. I'm like, they got to put him in starting again. I'm like, and Carlos is my boy. I was riding with him because I like his fireness, his attitude. I love it. And when he fell off a little bit with the control and they put him in the bullpen after them injuries, I was like, is he going to stay here or is he going to go back in rotation?
Because,
it's questionable. I think if we had somebody still healthy, they wouldn't let him be starting.
Right. And it's crazy because he has or had some filthy stuff. Like, they used to call him Baby Pedro. But to me, I believe I said this before, but I feel like once he got that big payday, the hunger left. He hasn't been the same guy. To me.
But he also had a couple of them injuries,
He
too.
did.
And that's why I raised my eyebrows. I'm like, he hasn't bounced back really from that second injury. I'm like,
yeah.
That's my boy. I'm rooting for him. Because I would love when him and Yachty on the mountain at the play together.
Yeah.
Dude.
And, I mean, this dude was easily getting 100 miles per hour on his fast. But now, they saying right now he's probably topping around 90, 91, 92. Like, that's not the same guy. Is he really back? And you just don't know about him. Sometimes he'll have that game where he's striking out everybody and going 7, 8 innings. Then you have a game where he's maybe 3, 4 innings, give up 5 runs. He's lost. He's giving up errors. You don't know about him. You just don't know. And with the other guys being hurt, he's forced by default to be in the top 5. So at this time, you're looking at Wainwright, Flaherty, KK Kim, John Gant, and Daniel Ponce de Leon as our starting 5 until others are healthy or if the Cardinals make a last-minute move, in which I feel they had an opportunity to maybe acquire a pitcher, and they didn't make that move. I feel like that may bite them in the butt if.
When do you think they should have made that move?
Prior to spring training. They had an opportunity.
Was that before Nicholas went down?
Yes.
Before
Yes.
Flaherty? Oh, okay.
Yes. That was during the time. Like St. Louis native or Missouri native Jake Odorizzi, he was an opportunity for them to sign him. Maybe not to a huge amount of money, but at least get him because he's like an innings eater and he's efficient. They didn't do it, and the Houston Astros went on and got him instead. But with moves like that, the Cardinals should have been more proactive and not reactive. Like after an injury happens, oh well, let's get this guy, let's sign this guy. We got Arenado. That was great, but let's continue to still make bold moves, be more proactive. That's just my thought right there. In regards to the offense, though, I am very happy with what I'm seeing with Tyler O'Neill. He's not striking out. He's making contact. He's taking the ball the other way. My concern right now is Paul DeYoung.
Whew. I thought you were going to say Bader again. I'm like, oh, here we go with this.
Well, okay. Well, Bader, that's a concern too. To me, he's not an everyday player. Lane Thomas.
Or is it not meant to be? Center field is on defense. I get it.
Right.
But they may be, because they want his defense so bad, they're going to sacrifice his offense.
But
so if he's not an everyday player, you want him, if we was in AL, you want him to be a DH?
But see, well, probably so. But no, because if it was an AL, he'll play in center field because they have a DH, so they have the extra bat. So
yeah,
so that's
you
fine.
Want him to be. I'm sorry. You want him to be only for defense and have a DH take his spot. That's what I meant. Sorry.
So, but Lane Thomas, this is a guy that people have been saying he's just as good in center field than Bader. The problem is he hasn't been able to show it a lot because he's been injured. But when he does play, he's better. He takes better at bats. He produces more results. And he's very, very solid. He may not be to the Bader level, but I will take that and have him play every day more than Bader playing every day and he's not producing, especially against right-handers. He struggles hard against right-handers. Now, if it's a lefty, it's all good. He'll punish him. But for righties, he cannot handle the off-speed slider when he faces righties. And majority of the league is based off of righties. So to me, he will be a good replacement like after the 7th inning and you want to have him in center field, cool. But he should not be right now the everyday center fielder. He just has not done enough to hold that spot down. Right now, Lane Thomas, to me, has shown that. So I hope opening day I'm seeing left field, Tyler O'Neill, center field, Lane Thomas, right field, Dylan Carlson. Then I'm straight, because that shows that you're putting your best 9, your best talent out there on the field. Other than that,
I tell you, you're not going to be straight because they're not going to do that. Remember, Harrison Bader is a golden ticket boy. They're not going to let him start off on the bench. Now, I will say this, because you know how our Cardinals roll. This is a new group, minus Wayno and Yachty. And when I say new group, they've only been here like, 4 years max? Most of them 4 years?
Who? Like
who's been here longer than 4 years?
In between who?
Like Matt Carpenter, has he been here longer than 4 years?
Oh yeah, he's been around for almost 7 years now. 8 years.
Okay, so he's one of the oldest standing ones besides Yachty, Molina.
That's it. Yachty, Wayno, and Carpenter.
That's about to prove my point. You know how the Redbirds are the older group. They would always take until July, use All-Star break, and then they start clicking and rolling. So with this Bader thing, All-Star break, make or break him. And if it was Tony La Russa managing, I didn't care for when he did this, but this is what he'll do. He would split the time between Bader and Lane Thomas for everyday games, not just if somebody the day off here, that he would do that consistently. That's how La Russa liked to manage, and I didn't care for that. But that's a situation Lane Thomas or Bader's producing for himself. You're not gonna be consistent with that bat. He may go get split time with Lane Thomas. So All-Star break makes or break him, because then that's also right around trade deadline. You about to see a lot of action if this stuff ain't together by July.
Yeah. So that's spring training. If y'all have a team that y'all are following outside the Cardinals, let us know in the comments. Let's discuss it. We got you. We not scared. We about debating and having a good time because we love sports. This is what we do. Almost 4 years next month of the platform Sports Talk Show. So,
speaking of that, you forgot to give your city a shout out on Sunday. Remember what day that was?
Hey, 314 day, baby.
Oh, 3-1.
Hope y'all enjoyed.
I'll be representing that Cardinals gear, Blues gear. You know how we like to represent our cities.
There we go. Hey, that's why I got it on right now. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't on Sunday, so I had to go ahead and do it today. You know what I'm saying? So I got you. All
right.
I'm from the Lou and do the.
Oh man, I said I gotta love my people. Well, y'all represent all on social media, the different spots, different places. 314 day. All the people not in St. Louis but from St. Louis still had that get together and stuff for 314 day. I was loving it.
Right. All right, so let's talk about an interesting topic here. Yesterday, during the TNT telecast, or should I say maybe after the game, Shaquille O'Neal said something very interesting to Candace Parker on the post-game show on TNT. And I want to go ahead and pull this up and play it for you. Let me make sure that I show the right video here. So, well, like I said, let me go ahead and just play it for you. Let everybody hear it, and then we'll get everyone's thoughts on this.
So dope.
What's up?
10 years ago, the WNBA game was here. NBA game is here. Now it's here. I have a way to make it equal. Just listen to me now. You ready?
All right.
We've heard it.
Yeah, we've.
So in beach volleyball, the women's net is maybe half an inch lower. You think if we just lower the rim so y'all could dunk like we dunk, that'll give y'all more oomph than you already have?
No.
I mean, because listen, y'all are doing the step backs, the pull back. Y'all doing everything we're doing, but I don't see a lot of people going up with two hands and, back.
Oh, it's coming. Opportunity is a.
So you don't think if we just drop it to 9, 10
Nah.
and a half?
I guarantee.
Flash?
Layla, she's into dance, but my next child will be drop step dunking. I promise.
I'm still thinking about that move
Telling
that
you.
Coop.
What are your thoughts on Shaq saying that?
Nah, I get where you're coming from. My thoughts, you look at tennis, men and women game, the racket's different size, the net's still the same, and the ball's still the same. Golf, the club size may differ, but the ball's still the same, and the distance is still the same for each hole. I know what he just said about volleyball, but I'm like, don't to lowering the rim. Nah, let the game keep evolving. Keep it where it is. And the women will be getting to dunking more if that's one they want more of that flash. Let it evolve.
I totally agree. I think Shaq was disrespecting the ladies in regards to that. Oh, let's go ahead and put the rim 2 feet lower so y'all can be like us and get more highlights and stuff like that. Yeah, he took it too far. And if I could have shown the video, but I just want to do the audio. But Candace Parker's face was like this Negro. It's like you said, tennis, same court, net the same. Don't try
same ball.
Right.
It's just the rackets that's different.
Don't try to make things bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I appreciate seeing the game of basketball with the ladies. Yes, we know that you're not going to be jumping from the free throw line and doing dunks, but appreciate the skill that it takes to still make a basket. The game ain't about just dunks. It's about the skill to make the basket, to make the shot. So yeah, I do feel like Shaq was kind of like out of line. I'm not. Now I know maybe in his mindset he was like, "No, I'm serious because I care about the game, whatever." But no, don't disrespect the ladies by suggesting let's put the rim 2 feet lower, so then all the ladies can be just doing these dunks, knowing that it's not regulation height. You know what I'm saying? That's like for instance, in softball, the bat is bigger, for a lady than it is for a man. Like, you're doing too much, Hey, like she could dunk. How she was saying, no, shoot, my daughter gonna be drop stepping and da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
Just appreciate the skill. And don't just change the rules up because it's a lady or ladies that's playing. Miss Williams says, now she says he has a point about WNBA players not dunking, but if lowering the net is saying that they can't play on the same level, Then she says, besides, Lisa Leslie was able to dunk. I'm sure other players can too. Maybe it's less a matter of whether or not they can dunk than whether they want to. 'Cause like I said, it's all about the skill. It's all about the skill. And then Maria, the wife of our special guest tonight, she says, as a former basketball player, she finds it to be disrespectful. There we go. And then Ms. Williams says, yes, I agree, it's disrespectful. Like I said, that's like, okay, you playing tennis, oh, this is a lady, so let's have them on smaller courts because they're ladies. No. Or you playing hockey, let's have the goalpost be wider than it is for the men because they're ladies. No, let the ladies do their thing. Bottom line.
I know what Maria and Miss Williams said is disrespectful, and I think from Shaq, his mind wasn't going to process it that way. He's thinking he's helping the game, and let me get y'all to get what we got. But this is, again, why sometimes when it comes to not just men and women differences with sports, but sometimes how men may process it. A woman's like, oh, that's offensive. And the guy's like, all I was doing was just, telling you da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, automatically, we're like, no, that's offensive. And he probably didn't process it that way. And it's not the first time he's brought it up, but eventually, like I said, let the game evolve. Women are going to find out what they want to dunk more, if they want to do the skill set where they do more alley-oops. Eventually, it will happen where you have taller women in the league to make it, highlights if that's what he's looking for other people. Let it evolve. Exactly. Look at the NBA. It's evolved to more threes being taken than twos. I saw that article last week about that. From 2001 and 2002 to 2021, there's more shots taken from three-point line than by the free throw line and dunking. I had to show you the article offline, but I was so amazed. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and my
NBA's evolved like that. The threes is thing now, not all the dunking like we used to seeing back a lot of the 90s,
So my thing is, I'm all about being proactive and being creative. My thing is, okay, Shaq, except for saying let's lower the rim, why don't more guys like yourself promote the game better? You know what I'm saying? Do more.
I've been thinking that years ago.
Do more for the league.
The NBA wants to put WNBA players usually on a normal year, All-Star game. You have WNBA players doing skills and all that.
Yeah.
So that's the time when they get their marketing on the NBA games per se. But it's like if you got these other players that will help market and do it. I mean, we women doing it, but we need help. If you want to get to bigger span, or if you want to market it more for younger people. Like you said, he could help, and other people that thinking like him can help too. They got some platforms. Y'all can help promote it.
Yep. Let's see. A few comments here. Ms. Williams says, I remember in the beginning, the rules for the WNBA were different than the NBA, and they had a smaller ball. I thought that was disrespectful as well. Now, I would say the balls that are used, even in high school for men, are different than ladies. So
definitely high school regulation. Women's ball is smaller than the men's ball from high school on. They always make them smaller. Then
Maria says, exactly. Remember in my favorite hockey movie, The Mighty Ducks, baby. The Mighty Ducks, the Flying V. The best goalie was the girl. Then she has the shrugged shoulder like she Jordan. But yeah, that's true. Then she says, I'm sure the spirit of what Shaq was saying was not was not negative, but it was still whack. So yeah, it's not like he was trying to disrespect the game or say, whatever, but it is more so the fact that you want the rim to be lowered down. It's like, come on, it's taking it too far. You're taking it too far. But like I said, do more for the sport in regards to being, promoting the sport more. How the same way how he was doing things for Papa John's. Do the same thing for the WNBA. The same thing how he does for the insurance. Do the same thing. That's all I'm saying. So instead of trying to lower the rim, let's find ways to market the game even more to appeal to the young ladies. That would be a better strategy than trying to lower the rim so people can see alley-oops. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. The game will evolve. It'll get there. You're going to see more alley-oops in women's game. It'll get there.
But isn't it crazy that the upcoming season would be 25 years of the WNBA? Ain't that crazy?
Hey, I'm proud of them. I'm proud that it sustained all this time. I really am. Now, thank you for the NBA for letting the ladies have their own league and supporting them. Because they have leagues in the past, but those leagues folded.
Yeah.
So with the NBA support and money behind it, I am glad 25 years later, this league is still around. Seeing women flourish and do the damn thing.
Let's talk about another topic. Last week, Patrick Ewing. Of course, he's coaching Georgetown, your team, the Georgetown Hoyas, in the Big East tournament. And he's trying to go through security, right? Everyone in the world, especially in New York, especially in Madison Square Garden, they should know, oh, that's Ewing. Dog, you don't even need no ID or no security pass. You good to go. But wait. Security stops him and pretty much harasses him because he didn't have the proper credentials that he needed to go past security. This man has a freaking banner in the arena that you work for. And you mean to tell me that he can't pass credentials? He can't pass you up? Do you know what's going on here? Now, I understand, okay, it's a different generation. You know, they may not have been around seeing Ewing and John Starks and Oakley, but damn it, it should have been some kind of rule book or something where you see these guys, pulling up or, you know, whatever. I don't care what's going on. You should be able to know that's Patrick Ewing. That's Charles Oakley. That's so on and so on. And
at least somebody on the security staff, even if the young buck of a security person wasn't around. That's why I'm like, yeah, only reason I know some BS because we saw this happen to Oakley 3 years ago.
Right.
We already know that's security, and that's back to the ownership Dolan. He full of it. He know he is.
Yep.
There's no excuse.
That's the problem right there. James Dolan.
That means 7-foot black man walking around. We know ain't no fans in this thing, so you think he just randomly just snuck in there? Come on now. Really?
Yeah. James Dolan is the main problem. If I'm owning the team, owning that building, there's no damn way that Barkley, Oakley, remember last year, Spike Lee had an issue.
Spike Lee, because he go to the same place.
Of all people.
They gave him a problem.
So
this is a season ticket holder, one that helps give y'all some free marketing, and you gonna do him like that? So Dolan is full of it. He I wish he could sell his stake in the team in Madison.
Yes, you got to go because
black men wrong. Because I don't hear any white celebrities or famous people.
There we go.
Do the same thing.
Speak it up.
Come on now.
That's it. The common denominator: black guys who made you money. That's the issue.
Exactly.
They made you money. They the ones who bought the butts in the seats. Those guys were the ones who had Madison Square Garden jam-packed, everyone hoping for a title. It was those guys. And you're trying to deprive them of what they've done for your city, for your building, for your organization. You got to go. Bottom line.
You won't. Ugh.
The hate is so strong. There's no reason why Patrick Ewing has to even pull out a wallet when it goes to Madison Square Garden. I bet you if that was LeBron James pulling up, he wouldn't have got carded. He wouldn't need no press pass. But guys like Spike Lee, Ewing, Oakley, whatever, they got to go through all this mess just to get inside. That's ridiculous. And James Dolan, yes, like you said before, has to go. Bottom line.
I need more people on that bandwagon. I need the NBA to make him sell his ownership because how he runs the team is horrible. Here nor there. It's wrong what happened to Patrick Ewing. Shout out though to the Hoyas. I'm glad they were in the Madison Square Garden because they did their run. They're going to the big dance. It's been a few years.
Congrats to him.
He got past that. But...
Congrats to him and congrats to Vashon's own Kobe Clark playing for Georgetown. I know he was hurt a lot throughout the year. He played a few minutes during the tournament, but he's out there in the big dance. Georgetown didn't
His
have
first year.
Georgetown didn't have a great season, but they won a tournament and now the end. So good luck to them. Sticking with the Knicks, I have been very, very impressed with the Knicks. I saw the game the other day against the Nets, in which the Knicks lost by 3-4 points against the Nets, but they are playing their ass off. Thibodeau got that. I know we had a discussion a few 2 weeks ago, last week, whatever.
Coach Tibbs, man, defensive line. 180 for last week's squad.
But that team plays with heart. They don't give
why
up.
He was drafted in the top 10 when he got drafted. Yeah.
And Derrick Rose didn't even play that game. I just thought about it. He didn't even play that game. But the Knicks were down by like 15, 16 points against Brooklyn, and they almost came back and won that game. Julius Randle, his game has evolved, has changed. He's a better guy. Just being, seeing him get so emotional to the referee at the end of the game, like the Knicks want it. They want that respect. They're tired of hearing just Brooklyn.
Yeah, the other New York team is in effect. And I give it to Randall. Him being on two other teams prior to the Knicks helped mature and grow him. Because think about it. He was with the Lakers. And even after the injury, when you have high caliber superstars, you don't have to be required. It's not that much on you. We know LeBron was doing this before AD got there. You go to New Orleans with the rest of the squad that got traded. What's his name? Lanky dude. Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Randall was in New Orleans, right?
Right.
All right. They was looking good. They actually were looking pretty good. He in New York, it's like he didn't have a true, like, semi all-star cast around him, and now it's like he's emerging as the man. And it's helped his game, really.
Yeah. So, shouts out to the Knicks organization, outside of James Dolan. But just what Thibodeau was doing, they are gaining respect. I think they lead the league in defense. That's huge. So shouts out to them. I think right now they like in the 7th spot in the East, right behind the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball. Man, this dude
up to his last name, right? He playing like his last name, balling.
This dude here, I told the guy, this is like, when it was, I believe, Stan and Sadal. I told them, I said, watch, LaMelo Ball is going to be the better ball of all. And look what he's doing. I think what he's doing is inspiring Lonzo to be better. Truthfully, because I'm pretty sure, the pride comes in. Oh, wait a minute. My little brother coming in, first year, making noise more than I am. Ever since LaMelo got that starting position, he's been doing the damn thing. Like,
earned it, though.
Over 20 points a game, playing with confidence and swag and everything.
All rookies.
Yeah.
LaMelo lead all in all major categories.
I mean, he's playing phenomenal right now. And I think it low-key is sparking Lonzo to step up his game as well, because he kind of was getting to that afterthought. Like the first year, the hype was there because of him and LeVar Ball. Then second year, he went to, of course, New Orleans or whatever. I think it's been, 3 years now in New Orleans? So, like, the light kind of was getting dim on him. And then here comes LaMelo. So I think that kind of sparked a little something, like a little fire under Lonzo to say, let me go ahead and step my game up. And he's been doing great with shooting threes with New Orleans. Now, unfortunately, they are like 10th place in the West right now. They have time to make some noise with that, with him, Zion, Ingram, as you brought up earlier, Bledsoe, Steven Adams. That team should be doing better than just being in 10th place. So hopefully the Hornets go ahead and, I'm sorry, not the Hornets. Hopefully the Pelicans will make some moves and start getting some wins.
They fired my coach Alvin Gentry at the last season like it was on him, and look what's going on right now.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy.
Was not Gentry.
I wasn't too happy with letting him go. Well, more so, I would say they should have gotten somebody else than Stan Van Gundy. I'll say that. Stan Van Gundy, I don't think is the answer to the Pelicans' problems. If that was the case, like you said, They should have kept Alvin Gentry. Other than that, I would have gotten try to pay to get a Ty Lue or whatever to take over the Pelicans than getting Stan Van Gundy. He just never done anything for me since his days with the Heat. He just
nothing against him, because I don't know if they thought he was coming in to try to quote unquote get these younger players some structure per se. But they're young players, but they've been 4 years in the league now. My thing is, this is, like I said, a whole nother subject, and we don't have time to talk about it today. But we talked about with the hiring and even black coaches. Why hasn't Sam Cassell got his time yet?
Right.
Jason Kidd got fired over him and owner getting to in Milwaukee. He ain't been offered another head coach position yet. Them two guards right there. But you don't have to be a guard, of course. But I'm thinking, like, these are black coaches that can do something with their young boys.
Yeah.
And they ain't got the opportunity yet.
And still, Mark Jackson still hasn't gotten an opportunity to shine.
And I heard low-key he's blackballed.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so special guest, he's coming up very soon, y'all, so get ready. He'll be giving us his points of views in regards to our topics that we've been discussing, so stay tuned with that. Real quick, going to the Blues, Jordan Bennington last week signed a 6-year extension, so he ain't going nowhere. He's the future. He's going to be that.
Shit. He said, I got this.
Yeah.
The Blues. Yeah. The Blues check is better than that stimmy.
Yeah, so congrats to him. Good move by the Blues to go ahead and lock him down. I recall years ago before him, we were just nervous in regards to our goalie situation, whether it's Jake Allen or this guy or that guy. It was like, we need some stability. We finally got it in Jordan Bennington. Your thoughts on the move by the Blues?
Congratulations to him. Smart move. He was under almost a league minimum when he go under Stanley Cup for us. So he was bound to get his payday. Okay, he's earned it. Trust me. He's earned it. And he's still consistent. He's good. Even when you have off nights, overall through the season, he's consistent. So he earned it. Shout out to him. And he's young enough, so hopefully he stays healthy and bring back some more cups.
There we go. Other news, Drew Brees announced his retirement this past week. He's done, he's finished, and he will be moving over to NBC Sports as a commentator doing Notre Dame games and also as an analyst for the NFL games. So, incredible career by Drew Brees. We had his teammate in college, DeAndre, and it's kind of crazy how we had his teammate in college, DeAndre Johnson, on the show a few weeks ago. But incredible career by Drew Brees. People thought that, after his time with the Chargers, that he may not have success, and now he ends up shattering, records as a quarterback. So, congrats to him. Any words you want to say about Drew Brees?
20 years. I thought maybe he was thinking about doing another year to compete with Tom Brady. I'm glad he cleaned up his act after last summer when he made the comment with the whole kneeling thing and the flag. I'm like, that was
so messy.
Kudos. I mean, he still shouldn't even take it from one of his own teammates to help him out to understand, because we've been saying about the flag kneeling is nothing about the flag. And I don't know how he missed that whole narrative. All 2, 3, 4 years about this. But anyway, so hopefully his mind is still in the right place. But yeah. Right after the sunset, over to the broadcast booth.
Yep, that's true. And then staying with football, have you seen all these moves going on with free agency? I mean, we
knew it was gonna come.
It's been bananas.
That's how it's supposed to be. That keeps you relevant, talking about the sport, and the fact that so many players are moving. They got Brinks trucks in front of these players' houses. I mean, salary cap, even with the pandemic last year, we knew this was coming because this was already planned out, the salary cap raising before the pandemic hit last year. So, get all them coins, because you guys put a lot out on the line, and you may not have another year, because you know how them injuries on the NFL is so much more severe than other sports. So, I mean, shout out to them. Shout out to their agents making it happen.
I mean, AJ Green. I mean, all-pro wideout going to the Cardinals to join.
Let me tell you, just today alone.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Cornerback Patrick Peterson. He got a 1-year, $10 million deal.
With who?
Curtis Samuel.
With
3 years.
With who, Bunny? Who did Peterson sign with?
Vikings, 10 million.
I ain't know that. Wow.
It was breaking news 19 minutes ago.
Okay. Wow. That's crazy. And going back to the NBA, PJ Tucker from the Rockets is going to the Bucks. It was a trade that happened before our show.
Wait, Tucker going to where?
To the Bucks.
Okay, that's not the one I thought you were going to talk about. It's another one, word on the street. I don't know how much is finalized. The boy that got suspended for a week from the Heat.
Oh, yeah, Miles Leonard. Yeah, he got traded for to Portland for to OKC, and Trevor Ariza is going to the Heat.
But with that trade, they're not expected to keep him on the roster.
Nope.
Ain't that crazy?
Nope.
What was the purpose of how do y'all win when y'all sign somebody just to release them or trade and release them?
Shoot, I'm thinking.
Does it help with your books or something?
I was gonna say money, getting Ariza.
It helps with your books then or something. Okay.
Getting Ariza off the books and getting Miles Leonard, who probably doesn't cost as much. You trade for him, then release him because he don't cost as much. It's not hurting your pocket like it was getting Ariza. So that was why
I'll
that
say
happened.
this: if Leonard wasn't in the media last week for that, I don't think that trade would happen.
Oh no, it wouldn't have.
I definitely like that. They ain't want that negative media, especially. Let me not go there, but
during these times.
Huh?
During these times. But yeah, but you're going back to NFL. The Rams, they lost some guys. They traded Michael Brockers last night to the Lions. They lost they lost a linebacker, what's his last name? Ebicam, lost him. They lost a few guys, but maybe they have a plan behind the plan. But a team that has definitely made some noise, the New England Patriots. They signed tight ends, they signed offensive linemen, they signed running backs, they signed everybody, and that they re-signed Cam Newton. Bill Belichick said, okay, you know what? We had this year. Y'all won.
Right, that's all. It's going to lose season. Y'all get out of bed a long time.
But this year we spending because we coming back. I mean, and they loaded up.
Hey, them Brinks trucks can't even stay parked long enough.
My
they still
goodness.
loaded, reversing, drop that money here up. Look, these Brinks trucks are so bad that they have wings. They are flying city to city, dropping off this money. They just drive, they flying.
I mean, it is crazy, but hey, we love to see the NFL frenzy going on. A few
Now we
comments.
just need to get that hiring for black coaches going on next. Right there.
A few comments here. Ms. Williams says Spike Lee, who's on TV courtside every home game, and you don't know who he is. Exactly. And then in regards to, I believe Jordan Bennington, he's proved himself. That's why he got the contract. 6 years, he's locked down. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Stan is not in tonight. He should be back next week. Stan, we're going to hold things down for you. It is your boy Smooth along with
Bunny.
All right. Goes down every Wednesday. Make sure y'all give us a follow on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Retweet, show love on Twitter. Like us on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Click on that bell, because anytime we go live,
You get notified.
there we go. Now, everyone who's watching for the first time, like, man, where the special guest at? Well, boom, 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 boom. Here I go. Up next, this man here, I've known, I want to say it had to happen probably more than likely through Bunny. I've known this guy since college years. So you're talking about over 10 years, I've known this man. He is currently the play-by-play announcer at my old college, Harris-Stowe State University / high school. But anyway, he's a good guy.
Don't do that to him. Don't do it.
He is a really good guy. This man loves HBCUs. So we're going to definitely talk about that and much more. Bunny, did you want to add anything else? Because this guy here, you know him so well as well. So tell us a little bit more about him, if you don't mind, before I bring him in.
On him longer than 10 years.
Here we go. Tasha said.
I want to say we going. What year is this? 2021.
Tasha said it's always through Bunny.
Really? That's how she know Arthur too, huh?
She the plug, y'all. Bunny is the plug.
Hey,
hey.
Okay. If I'm the plug,
college years was some fun years. I'm gonna just leave it like that.
And you know what? Here, I'll let the special guests come on. We can talk about that real quickly because they don't have that this culture's generation. Woo! Go ahead, bring them on. We had some.
Hey,
oh my God.
All I'm gonna say is the Landon couldn't hold us down. College parties, they couldn't contain us, y'all. Hey, recall that's no. You know what? I'm gonna hold it. Without any further ado.
Like I gotta start. There's so much.
Without any further ado, everyone, welcome to the show. My homeboy, the dude, Mr. Arthur Grimes.
Whoop, whoop.
There he is. What's happening?
What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. I can't complain. Buns, what's up?
Man, I had to stop because I'm like, we take this way back, like all the carefree times in our 20s. Look, back in Mount Carmel days don't even count because we weren't even doing that like we.
I met Bun when I transferred to her school in 4th grade.
Mount Carmel, yep.
Good old Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Shout out to Baden. And met Bunny in 4th grade. And that's been like 20 plus years. Yeah. And so, you know, and Fred, you brought up the Landon and them parties. Oh man, the Landon, man, that take me back, man.
I felt like
Landon in 02, 03, bro.
My 20s was
when we wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
Right. Hey, I was using my sister's ID to get in some of them places, y'all, because I wasn't 21.
Shout out to all the promoters. Shout out to our promoter who kind of helped us get into all the spots.
Yeah, we was like the entourage. We was all go together.
Man.
And then turn that dance floor.
Man. Kill the dance floor.
Fun times. And I would be remiss if I didn't add Karan, because that dude, man, us three together back in the day, as soon as we stepped in, we owned the night, dog.
Hey, you talking about dance?
Everybody named mama knew y'all as soon as y'all got up in there. Y'all got all the love. I'm like, look at these local celebrities.
You know what? Hey, we killed the dance floor. And then, you know, that was one of them things. Hey, that energy that we had back then, man, that take me back right there.
Yeah, bro.
That take me back.
Yes.
Man, y'all was talking about a whole lot of stuff, man. Y'all was talking about a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
Did you take notes so you can give your comments? Give your
surely
thoughts?
did. I got my note sheet right here. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
My students.
All right. Cool. Save it. So, as you heard, you know, we had some fun times back in the day, everybody. So, what y'all about to hear is, let me go ahead and say disclaimer, parental advisory warning. Okay. This is how I knew this guy when I first met him. Man. This is the guy that I know back in the day during my young, before I was even called Smooth, okay? This here is the guy that I know that held things down back in the day.
About to do too.
Everybody enjoy. Hey, get it. Let's go. Let's go. That's my dude right there. Get it. That's the guy that I know that I met back in the day, y'all.
Oh man. first of all, shout out to my wife because my wife posted that for 314 Day.
Yeah.
And, you know, we was down in New Orleans for that, and so I had to show out right quick, show out for the hometown, you know. But yeah, that, hey, the fact I can still do some of that stuff is crazy, man. Like, we was some dancing fools back in the day.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
Like,
Just dancing fools. Y'all was dancing till the sun came up and going out to eat after we, you know, out all night. Like,
you know, going to the club back then, you know, dudes dance back then. Dudes just be standing there looking around now.
Hey, I was saying the same thing with DeAndre Johnson a few weeks ago. Like, we didn't need liquor to get ready to rock and roll. Like, as soon as we got into the club, it didn't matter if it was jam-packed. Like, for me, I preferred the dance floor to be wide open so we can get warmed up and, you know, ready to go. So when all of a sudden it's getting jam-packed, everybody always know, hey, them guys right there, they gonna put on a damn show. You know?
that's right.
Hey, killed many a dress shoes back in the day.
Dude.
Killed many a dress shoes.
Hey, I could not wear Air Force Ones there because I knew they would get jacked up on the dance floor. I couldn't do it.
You know, that was where we wore button downs and jeans and some dress shoes.
Yeah.
And man, feet be killing me when I get in the car. But I got all numbers.
What you think those ladies went through? Hold up, your feet hurting.
Hey, hold on. But I always remember you going and you had tennis shoes on.
No, I didn't wear tennis shoes, but I wore flats. I look cute but comfortable.
Hey,
especially fooling with the landing up cobblestone streets, man.
Right,
bro.
Right.
I almost pull up many.
I've had a heel get stuck in a cobblestone down there before. No, one and done. That's it.
But yeah, so I appreciate y'all having your boy on tonight. I'm excited.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, Mr. Busybody. A few comments real quick. Miss Williams says, welcome to the show. She's a faithful follower. And then my lady, Jamie, she says, she said, hey, she saw the video. She was like, hey, you know, she was turned up, you know, as well. She was like, hey, let's get it. Hey, Jamie, that was just a snippet. I'm saying, just imagine if me and Karan was there with you. Oh my goodness.
Look, that's almost 40-year-old Arthur, man. You know, you got to go back to like 22, 23-year-old Arthur when like the energy was real. I ain't need no drinks.
Right.
All we had to do was just be there and the right song come on and it was over.
And then, like you said, dudes back then, like ourselves, we dance and we dance with women.
Y'all gotta put that with the women.
I'm just saying, it's the truth. This generation, I don't know what the hell y'all doing. Like I said, even though I don't go to clubs no more, that time has passed. Hey, I'm a lounge. I want to see a live band. Of course, I DJ as well, so you know I'll do that. But even I DJ, I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, why am I seeing all the girls in a big circle dancing with each other, and all the dudes just looking like they don't know how to talk to a girl or to a woman anymore? What's happening?
Man.
Somebody gotta teach them.
You think that's something? Chaperone a school dance these days.
Dude. Okay, I did it was a high school prom. A high school a dance at a NJROTC event.
Mm-hmm.
And the ROTC ball?
Yeah, that's what it was. And I thought I was at the freaking, almost at the pink slip. I'm like, what is going on here? Seriously.
That's the pink slip with high schoolers. What?
I'm like, what is happening? Like, did I miss something? But it's crazy. It's crazy. A few comments here.
Y'all spell my name wrong.
Let's see. We got a few comments. Your wife says, I've seen those cobblestones take many people out.
You know it, baby. Took me one time, one and done.
And then Miss Williams, she says, I thought only women wore shoes that hurt just to look good. No, you know, we came through, you know, fly, you know. We ain't gonna say we was as bad as the ladies were, cause y'all held things down, you know. It was a reason we had to come to impress. But We had to come through on our own too and hold things down, especially when they had a strict dress code. Certain spots, Arthur, certain spots had those dress codes. If you didn't have this and that on, you wasn't getting in. Bottom line.
Yes, sir.
And then Natasha says, I can only hang out in the summers.
Hey, yeah, Natasha could only come out on the summertime. Hey, what was the best time though?
Yeah, true. And winter break, she says. And then Miss Williams says, that's how it used to be when I was young. The girls danced in a circle and the guys stood around and watched. The only guys who danced with girls were the ones with girlfriends. Come on. I ain't saying that you're going to find a wife in the club, but damn it, dance. Dance with them.
That's what a dance is for, to see people dancing, preferably. I shouldn't say preferably, I'm sorry. Jess, if you have both genders there, you want to see some intermingling.
Or your wife is kind of telling herself off a little bit. She grew up in the Palace days. It was all contact.
Hey, you know what? My wife and I talk about this all the time. Like, we probably ran into each other.
Didn't even realize
it.
Yep.
Like, literally, what's funny is when I go back through my Instagram, I have a picture of us in a group photo from the first day we met. And that was like 4 or 5 years before we got together. Just from us hanging out, being in the same circles and things like that. And the Palace and the Saints, I was there.
Now, see, I went to the Palace maybe once. No. I probably say at least maybe 3 times. I went to Saints more than the Palace. Skate King.
Why, you live closer that way?
At that time.
So people tend to go based off of where they live. Because I went to the Palace all the time. That was much closer. I really went to Saints.
Let me see. She says, I probably backed it up on him back then. and he never forgot. He never forgot. That's what's up, man. But yeah, like I said, just fun times back in the day. What's been going on with you now, though, man?
Man, so I'm just all around, brother. The fact that you say jack of all trades, that's me too, man. I've been teaching high school 16 years now.
Really, that long? Woo.
Yeah. Shout out to Bunny's mama, because Bunny's mama is who helped me get my first job. So
nice.
Don't mention about that plug, Fred. I don't want to hear that.
Exactly. Bunny is the plug for everything.
Trust me.
Hey, so Bunny, let's be real now. You're trying to act like you're not the plug, but my first teaching job came from your mama. I'm married to your sorority sister. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. Marie is dope. Remember, I told you that last year. I said you got a good one.
So hey Fred, as long as Bunny in the picture, I'm good. But I'm still teaching. So I've been doing play-by-play for maybe the last 4 years now. I got into PA announcing, so doing the public address at sporting events probably back in 2012. And started doing that. I was teaching at Cardinal Ritter at the time. And, the AD basically was like, hey, we need somebody to announce the game. And I was like, well, I talk in front of people all day, so let me try it. And it kind of became the thing. And I ended up doing football, basketball.
So natural with it.
And, yeah. And then my play-by-play career kind of got started in 2017. We had a couple students, one of the students who actually passed away. If you all remember that, the shooting that happened outside of SLU, Ari Bagsby, who was one of my former students, he was murdered then. But he was the reason I got into play-by-play. He came to the school with the idea of us broadcasting our games. And Eric Cooper, who is the director of admissions there, was like, let's put a media team together. And he him and Ari did all the work to get the play-by-play going. And because I had the best seat in the house as the PA announcer, I volunteered to do play-by-play. And it's been a good thing. You know, Harris-Stowe kind of came up. I started going to their games last year. My wife and I went and checked out the Lincoln versus Harris-Stowe game, and we saw a guy for Harris-Stowe that just was balling out of control. And I was like, man, I got to see this guy again. And so I look up, and I done been to like 7 or 8 Harris-Stowe basketball games. And, you know, it's one thing about when you're dealing with an HBCU versus any other school. When you at a HBCU, you kind of, people see your face a lot, they start talking to you. They start saying, oh, who are you? Why are you here? Like, you got to have a reason. And so I became a supporter, and having worked at Harris-Stowe before, it was nothing for me to don the brown and gold again and, you know, basically make my services available. And this past season, of course, we was dealing with the pandemic. But I got a chance to see college athletics, you know, maneuvering through this rough and rugged pandemic. It was definitely something I really, you know, loved participating in. And the leader of the athletics department at Harris-Stowe, Dorian Johnson, is like amazing. Like, I don't care what nobody says. She is the epitome of leadership. You know, how she handles the business, how she, you know, you all are sports fans. If you watching a coach, you're going to watch a coach and you're going to know this is what's right, this is what's wrong, etc. And, you know, it's not just somebody who ain't never played the game before. This is a Division I basketball player, and she's out there, you know, leading. And and not only leading, but taking people under her wing and teaching them, you know, giving them opportunity, you know. And so I love and respect her for it, because not only she didn't know me from Adam, but she definitely, you know, started teaching me the game, and she knows what my ultimate dream and goal is. So I got to show her mad love for that.
That's what's up, man. So with that being said, a question that we always ask our guests is, when will you say that you developed your love for sports?
So mine probably developed at a young age, man. I was, you know, I started playing basketball at a young age, and actually, like when I came to Bunny School, I was already playing basketball, organized basketball, CYC League. Shout out to CYC and all the, you know, they don't even have it no more, I don't think.
I don't think they do, or if they do, it's something else, another name, I think, or something like that.
You know, so I was playing that, but my love for all stuff really came in high school. Going to DeSmet, I kind of got exposed to like every sport imaginable. And so it was sports I had never heard of, like lacrosse, water polo, which even hockey and stuff. That's when I was introduced to it. And so going to a school like that, I learned my love for sports and my love for spirit. Going to Tennessee State definitely gave me that HBCU love and that love for Black college football and Black college basketball. And it's just grown. Like, the one thing I could never get into was professional sports. I've always been a college sports guy. College football, college basketball, that's it. You know, I'll watch the Super Bowl. I'll watch maybe the finals or the game deciding final for basketball. But you say, hey, we're going to watch this NBA game? I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm on my phone the whole time.
He's like, yeah, okay.
You know, yeah.
So
that's where my love came from.
So what was the very first sport that you played?
Basketball.
Okay.
Basketball. You know, basketball would have to be the first. Basketball would have to be the first, but it's nowhere near my first love. My first love is football. I love football. It's the thing that I've traveled the most for. You know, I've traveled up to 16 hours for a college football game.
Damn.
Yeah.
How about dedication?
Yeah. Like that's just me, brother. If I get the opportunity to go to a game, I'm going. You know, I don't care what the date, time. I don't care if I overlap and I gotta figure out another way to make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen.
Hey, that's one of my mottos right there. Make it happen. So before we even go any further, man, I'm loving your backdrop. So we love to ask our guests about what they got going on and they backdrop. So, if you don't mind, give us a little tour, if you can, do as much as you can right now with your room. I know you had some renovations going on over the last few months, and things looking pretty good right now, man. So, if you don't mind, show the world what's going on with your backdrop.
So, when the pandemic happened, my wife and I bought a house in 2019, and we were, trying to, getting things together, and we decided to, basically we were finishing the basement, and I was like, I got to have a man cave and all that, and she's like, yeah, not in the basement, you won't. And so, so with that, I started looking at like ways in the house to make it, a sports room. I always wanted a sports room in my house, so we have a garage, and we never parked in the garage because we constantly on the move. And so she said you can have a garage. And so I took a 1-car garage and turned it into my man cave. And it comes complete with hoops.
Okay.
I got darts, got the old school arcade featuring like everything, real Nintendo, Sega, and Super Nintendo games.
Okay.
I got the cartridges and everything. Helmets up there, memorabilia, big screen, of course, multiple TVs. But the thing that people love the most when they come in is I got turf.
Nice.
That's tight. That's definitely a man cave. He got that.
Yeah, definitely a man cave. So it really is because my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, who has been in my family for 20 years now, and he's a contractor. Does a lot of work. Basically anything in the family that need to get fixed, he do. And I came to him with the idea, say, "Hey man, this is what I want to do." He was like, "I'm excited. Let's do it." And this went from a 1-car garage to this, and he did all the work from the lights, the electric, everything, the paint, all of that. So
shout out Jerome.
Yeah, shout out to my brother-in-law Jerome Smith. Y'all gonna see the video about that soon, and y'all definitely want to give him some. I told him, I said, as soon as the world see this, HGTV gonna be calling, talking about, hey, how can you turn this into this? So yeah, that's. I spend most of my time out here when I'm at the house. I watch every game out here. Got a game on now.
I feel you.
Watching the first round of NIT.
There we go. Shouts out to you, Jerome. I said Jerome in the house.
Yeah, Jerome skilled. Shout out. He did a great job.
I'm about to holler him for a future project that
I can see that being a woman cave too. Shoot.
I don't know about all that.
Uh-oh.
You got a fridge in there?
Huh?
You got a fridge in there?
So I was gonna do a fridge, and then I started thinking about it. When you put a fridge out here, that means people are always gonna open it.
Right.
We gotta get our beverages. What do you mean?
So I got a cooler. Out here. I only stock the cooler when people are coming over. Other than that, I ain't put the fridge out here. I did leave space for it, and we did put the outlet just in case you want a fridge. But I was like, nah, we don't need it right now.
Oh, and just so you know, when things are open and getting back to normal, we will be broadcasting a show from his spot. So yeah, we already had that discussion. So it's definitely gonna be coming in the future. So definitely stay tuned for that. Once again, this is the platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports delight. I am your boy Smoooth, along with
Bunny
and special guest
AD Grimes.
Oh, he was on it, baby. What? He official like a ref with a whistle. I tell you.
Toot toot. There we go. We in it. All right, man. So tell us about Art, the athlete, man. How are you in grade school? How are you in high school? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
So, I'm like every other coach. I was decent in sports, but I was better on the sidelines. Now, so when I played basketball, I was good in elementary school, and but high school, when you go to a school like DeSmet, you got to be top talent. You got to be top talent, and the DeSmet that played ball when I was in high school was the DeSmet that had to go against the likes of Joel Shelton. And
Yes, the V.
for them at the V, and so the one thing about DeSmet, they beat the V at state one year.
Unfortunately.
So,
yeah.
So I didn't make the squad in high school, but I did play football, and football. Hey, DeSmet football is not DeSmet football now. Like Coach Steeples got DeSmet football back then, ran the double wing, double tight, and we didn't throw the ball, none of that. So if you wanted to get a little bit of shine, you played defense, and that was super stacked. So I was just the average player, man. I started coaching early on. My first coaching job was at Sumner High School under the legendary Richard Perry and Lawrence Walls. And I started coaching under them and spent some time at Sumner, spent some time at Soldan, and spent some time at Cardinal Ritter as a coach, man. And then once I kind of transitioned into, the production side and the PA and play-by-play, haven't really been coaching since then. But I've coached baseball, girls basketball, football, everything, chess. So I've done just a little bit about everything, man.
Miss Williams says that your man cave is pretty cool.
Appreciate it.
Pretty cool.
Once outside open back up, I'm definitely open for anybody to come watch a game with me. My wife will tell you, I love having people come to the house and watch games, because that gives me the opportunity to talk, football or talk basketball with whoever's there.
Right. Yep, most definitely, man. So you brought up coaching earlier. What was it about coaching that grabbed your attention that you want to go ahead and take that step? Because a lot of people say, hey, you should go ahead and coach, but some just don't have that in them to do it. What was it that propelled you to go ahead and say, you know what, I want to be a leader amongst, boys and girls or just people in general?
So for me, my dad was a coach. And that's really, I've realized just in the last probably week or two that my entire life is almost a replay of my dad, from how many times I've been married to how many kids I have to the makeup of the kids, of the two girls and a boy.
Is this on purpose?
No, I don't think it was on purpose, but I think even, teaching, having the opportunity to teach 5 years with your dad across the hall was probably the best thing for me when we were at Cardinal Ritter. But my dad is really what got me into coaching. Growing up, seeing him coach Cardinal Ritter girls basketball, I learned what it took to lead young ladies and lead them, on a path, not just being coach, but also sometimes being father and brother and all that stuff, whatever they needed. And so that always drove, always was something in the back of my mind that when the first opportunity came to be a coach, I jumped at it. And I've always loved strategy. Strategy is important for me, especially when it comes to football and basketball. You can win with athletes, but if you got a Michael Jordan, of course you can win. But there's plenty of championship teams out there with average players, and it's simply because strategy, knowing your opponent, knowing how to beat them, knowing how to plan to beat them, knowing how to react if they counter, etc. So that was important for me, is to learn the games that I coached, and especially with girls ball, that was something that to me, girls basketball was like, fun to coach. It was pure because, again, you're not out there dunking the basketball. I know Shaq said what he said, which I got some feelings about that too. But that's what really drove me, was my old man.
That's what's up, man. Who else outside of your old man inspired you to really like take in sports like you have?
Man. So, growing up, sports was always around. My parents hosted fight parties, Super Bowl parties. So like the family loved sports. My mom loves sports. And that's one thing, like you'll catch my mom and my dad watching the game. It's not like they in different rooms watching different TVs all the time. But when the game on, you'll see them watching the game. And so that was something where sports was something I always saw. and it was something we were exposed to even growing up. When we got the opportunity to go to a basketball game, I remember my dad took my sister and I to a Missouri Valley Conference tournament just to watch a couple games growing up. Same thing with the Gateway Classic. We didn't miss a Gateway Classic, so that was the opportunity for us to really just kind of be out there and watch and fall in love with the games that we were able to see.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what's up, man. Man, shouts out to those who were commenting. A few people are leaving comments under on my page on Facebook. Everyone, make sure that you leave comments under the platform Sports Talk Show, so then everyone can see your comments. Bunny, we got people commenting, showing you love, saying, "Hey, Bunny." I think it's Angelique Smith. I believe she was.
Yeah, so that's my sister. That's
Hey, Leaky Leak.
Yeah, that's Jerome's wife.
There it is.
Leaky. What's going on, girl?
So once again, leave all, if you're on Facebook only, leave all comments under the platform Sports Talk Show page. It's on the screen so we can see your comments coming in. Everyone else, don't hold back. Bring your comments. Bring your thoughts on anything sports related. We will all talk about it. We ain't shy. We want to get it in. Ms. Williams says, is it easier to be a good coach if you're a top flight athlete or if you're an average player, or are the two unrelated?
I think it's hard to say. You got some coaches out there that are amazing athletes. Look at Deion Sanders right now. Amazing athlete, probably one of the best football players to ever play the game. Hasn't taken a loss yet. You get your average players. You get your players who were decent as basketball or football players, and they become coaches, and they become great coaches. And then you got some coaches who are absolute superstar athletes, and they team suck. So I really think it's a lot that goes into it. It's the talent that you have. It's knowing what to do with the talent that you have. So I don't think that necessarily if you're a great athlete or an average athlete, you're going to turn into a great coach. Some of the best coaches in the game were just average, basketball players. Coach K is an amazing coach.
Yeah.
But I don't hear them talk about like, hey, Coach K on that court though. I don't hear that.
And I mean, prime example, look at what's going on in Kentucky with John Calipari.
Yeah.
Our own Cam Fletcher from the V, he's transferring out because of the crazy season that just occurred. With him not getting the playing time, and Cam had that outburst because he knows that he usually is a guy that plays a lot, and he wasn't getting that. He started the first 3-4 games of the season, and then all of a sudden Calipari just took him out, put in other guys, and now he's gone. But yeah, you're definitely right, because certain teams like the Kentuckys, the Dukes, they depend on getting that top athlete and feel like that's gonna be the way. But there's been a change in college basketball. There has definitely been a change that's going on, that you're starting to see these teams now who's been around for 2, possibly 3 years. The teams like the Gonzagas and stuff like that, who is getting more shine and actually winning championship. Like for instance, look at Virginia or Villanova. Those teams who've been around 2, 3 years, they don't have those 5-star athletes, but you have those guys who's been around for years.
I got to disagree, though.
That's not anything new, though.
Yeah, because when
Zaga's been clowning for a decade or over a decade.
All teams that go ahead, Bun.
Nova. Who else? Dayton. Finally been. They've been doing stuff. It's just the Blue Bloods y'all talking about that year in year out. You're gonna hear them. But look at the non-Blue Bloods who consistently recruit good. It ain't not be the 5-star recruits, but they getting 4-star and 3-star recruits that know that if you as is always on in basketball, chemistry besides the skills help you get a winning team. If you got people on a team that are freshmen and that stay there to their junior, senior years, you're going to get what you've been seeing for years. It's just not the spotlight until now. But we know these schools have been doing good. It's just they're not the blue bloods the one that done. So that's not a new trend. I think it's just more people finally giving them their little spotlight. But it's nothing new. Hence why I hate to bring this up with race. Y'all talking about NBA got majority black players. NBA is smaller. NCAA has a lot of more white players. A lot of these kids are on D1 squads, not just the 5-star black star recruits. Those white boys or white players are good too. They are skilled. Maybe not skilled enough for the NBA, but they're skilled on those squads. They get recruited too, not just the 5-star black recruits. And it's been going on for years. I'm sorry getting off subject, but I heard somebody tell this recently. I'm like, this is nothing new because Zaga's number one all of a sudden. No, it may be because of the region that some of these schools are in that y'all may not hear about them, but that's why I just mentioned Dayton. Smoooth plays Dayton. They're in the same conference, but they've been doing that for years of being good. We talked about when D-Wade was at Marquette. How much love was Marquette getting? Marquette, DePaul used to be good at one time. These are not the typical D1 blue bloods, but they get high quality players, and sometimes at the year they have veteran squads and they go farther in the dance because of that.
You know, the thing again that a lot of times the casual fan a lot of times forgets, if you see a lineup on Saturday, those games at 9 or 10 o'clock, that's prime time in their time zone. And so teams like Gonzaga, who, you know, can run the table with anybody, didn't get a lot of press. They don't get a lot of press. And then all of a sudden they make this run. And it finally took a year like this one where their athletic directors and their coaches finally made a schedule, you know, of pre-season or pre-conference games that allowed them to really play the blue bloods and beat them. Then all of a sudden, oh, that's why they're number one. Because if they hadn't played the Kansas and the Baylors and all that in pre-conference play, they would have been like, oh, well, they don't play nobody. You know, we also have to look at conferences. Conferences play a big role in your ratings. You know, if you get a Dayton or even a St. Bonaventure is a good team, a really good team. We saw that with SLU. But the fact that they're on the East Coast, they're in the Atlantic 10. A lot of people don't pay attention to the conference, you know, and you end up with a situation like, well, how was they supposed to be SLU? That team's good. Like they're good and they've been good, you know. So that's one thing I love when I get, you know, when March Madness rolls around and I start talking to people about certain teams and they're like, well, I've never heard of this school. Hey, well, that school is gonna shock you.
Right.
You know, their school, you know, I watch those smaller games. A lot of people don't turn on the Florida Gulf Coast University games until conference tournament time. But when you have things like ESPN Plus, you start watching those games, see who those stars are, because a lot of times they're bounce backs. Mm-hmm. Some of them are bounce backs where they might have been at Duke, might have been in North Carolina, went down to JUCO, and then came back.
Or transfer.
Yeah, or transferred. Mm-hmm. You know, last chance you showed, look how many D1 bounce backs end up at other schools, and they're doing wonders at those schools because of the fact that when you get 5 blue bloods, 5-star guys at a Kentucky, you getting a whole bunch of guys who trying to get they one and done and get out. So you're never gonna build the chemistry, and that hurts. That's what, you know, I wish Cam the best, and I hope he chooses a school that really you know, enhances his career and enhances his profile.
MIZZOU. Oh my bad. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I want him to ride the wave. Go to a black college.
Ooh.
Go be the star.
Ooh.
I would love for Cam to go to a black college. I would love to hear, you know, go to a North Carolina Central. You know, a lot of times people will be quick to say, "Oh, well, they don't get the TV time." Yes, they do. If you bring the superstar to the school, they'll get the time. It just showed. Deion Sanders got Jackson State on ESPN too. And so the argument that these 5-star players, if they end up at a black college, they won't get the shine. They'll get the shine. ESPN's gonna follow the players. They know what to do.
If they don't get the big TV, it's too much. Everybody got their own TV at their YouTube fingertips, at your Instagram story. You don't need all that because everybody lets them go viral. You'll be found real fast.
LeBron James in high school was having his games on ESPN.
Right.
So that idea that if they want to follow you, they're going to follow you. Cam is a talent. We've all seen him play. We know what he can do. He could go to a HBCU and bring the show to them. You know, and bringing the show to that school, he'll get his focus. You know, I think one thing that Cam saw at Kentucky was you just one of 4, 5, 6, 7 blue star, 5-star players here. So the shine ain't on you. And that bothered, not only did that bother him, I think that bothered a lot of us back home because we knew what type of talent he had. You know, and so for whatever, John Calipari did or his reason for not playing him, I can't necessarily, understand why you wouldn't play a player like that. But for him to make that move, Cam could go somewhere else where the focus could really be on him. I like the fact that Cartier Gordon, who was at SLU, who came out of Webster Groves, he transferred out of SLU and he's at Grambling now. So I hope once he had to do his, I think his transfer stuff, once he got to do his sitting time, he can go ahead and become the star at Grambling. So I hope Cam chooses HBCU. That's me personally. I know a lot of people. What? Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, so that's just how I feel about that.
A few comments here. Your wife says, agree 100%. Chemistry is everything. She also says teams who trust each other as players will always outperform random good players. Think about how the Spurs dominated, and a lot of people refer to them as boring team, but they play excellent as a team. That's correct, because all about the chemistry.
And Pop, he didn't play that. He didn't play with egos. You get off his team before you try to bring your ego and think everything gonna run through you.
Yeah. Real quick, I didn't realize this until I just kind of scrolled through social media, but a two-time guest of ours, Coach Adriel Betts, Bunny. I know you wasn't on the show when he was on both times, but he's been on the show a few times now. Just found out that a few days ago that his lovely wife Cassidy passed away. So I'm kind of like in shock right now. So forgive me, but I'm just finding this out through social media. And he's a guy that I bowled with for years, doing the bowling leagues and stuff like that. I've known him for many years, and just found out that his wife passed away, and her homegoing celebration is this weekend. So I'm kind of like just stunned right now, just kind of browsing through social media, saw her picture and everything. So I just want to give prayers up to our two-time guest on the Platform Sports Talk Show, Coach Jason, or his actual name is Adriel Betts. His wife passed away recently, so prayers up to him during this time. But going back to the show, man, this has been an incredible interview so far. We once again appreciate you being on the show with us, Art, and it's good to see, which I want to bring up next, how passionate you talk about not just colleges, but HBCUs. What is it about HBCUs that really just gets your passion going so much?
So there's a couple things. So one, it's historically Black colleges and universities, ever since integration, have been pillaged for their best talent. Before integration, we had the best players going to HBCUs. And even after integration, you have some great ones, such as Jerry Rice behind me, Steve McNair, Walter Payton, and great coaches like Eddie Robinson and Marino Kasem and W.C. Gordon, just so many, John Merritt, so many great players and great coaches. And what's happened in the last probably 30 years is predominantly white institutions have come to the the kid that would normally be at a black college, and they say, oh, well, let me show you all of this great. Don't play in front of 20,000, play in front of 80,000. And let me show you, we're on TV every week. You really want to go to the NFL? Go to the NFL. And that kid is like, sure, I want to do it. But what that kid fails to realize is that that system, the money, the racism, is that all of that still benefits the school. And so I started watching games like the Gateway Classic growing up and was like, man, this is some good football. These are kids who are hungry. They want to go, but they weren't given the opportunity to shine at the bigger school, or they weren't recruited to be at the bigger school. And then it was that. So it was like, man, they were hungrier, in my opinion, than the kid who was at the blue blood Mizzou or, Illinois school, right? So that was part of it. Then the atmosphere of the game. If you've ever been to a classic, I don't care what classic you've been to, if you've ever been to one, it encompasses so much. Yeah. From the band to the Greeks to the old heads to the alumni, all of that. And I just fell in love with the atmosphere. And so being an alum, being a person who supports the school, I travel, I go to games. I tell other alums like, hey, going to homecoming is great. But if you outside drinking, you're not helping the school right now. That's one less scholarship we might be able to give. That's one less new upgrade to the stadium that we might need to win that recruit. Mm-hmm. So, I'm always pressing alums and supporters, go to the game. Don't show up at halftime because the band is performing. Right. And figure you're going to stay to the end of the game. Or you show up at the beginning of the game and you leave at halftime. Nah, be there for the whole game. So that's really what it was, man. I just fell in love with the game, the rivalries. There's nothing like a Grambling Southern. There's nothing like a Southern Jackson State, Tennessee State, Jackson State, FAMU Bethune, FAMU Southern. You get a chance to go to see these games, bruh, like they rival the passion that goes with the Alabama Auburn or the Army Navy. That to me, and that's what I fell in love with, because it's all about my culture. I go somewhere where my culture is not something that's on the back burner. The fact that these are black colleges, I'm proud to go to a game. I went to the State Fair Classic last year, and man, I felt so proud to stand up and hear they got the Star Spangled Banner. They did that. That's cool. But when they did Lift Every Voice and Sing, man, when you hear that at a game and you got 60,000 people standing up, proud, black, in unison, singing along, that's not, and you ain't gonna get that feeling nowhere else. That's a pride that that's the same pride we feel when we're unified through tragedy. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it, it's been so much tragic stuff that's happened in the last couple of years that we're unified through tragedy. We're angry, and since you angry and I'm angry, we angry together, and we show our love through that anger. But that's toxic, right? That's toxic. I want love to be like, man, hey, my brother, hey, lift every voice and sing. We're gonna sing it together. So that's the feeling I get with.
How did you feel? I'm sorry. How did you feel hearing that song during the All-Star game last Sunday in the NBA?
So, hearing it at the All-Star game, hearing it at the Super Bowl, it's not the same feel. Those two professional sports leagues who have on numerous occasions come out and said how they don't support it. Then all of a sudden now it's the trending thing to do. Now all of a sudden we support it. Now we recognize that our supremacy system that we've set up so long ago is, you peeking behind the curtain and saying that it's not the whiz, it's the guy. And I just felt like they're trying to do that to be like, oh, hey, we're in solidarity with you. No, you're not. No, you're not. So I can't rock with it. I think it's fake. I think they're trying to appease people like LeBron. Like, what happens when your best player comes out against you? Your best player come out and say y'all wrong.
With your pockets.
you know. And if they go after LeBron, LeBron is so in the media right now. They can't do to LeBron what they did to Muhammad Abdul-Rauf. I don't know how to say his last name right.
Yep.
Ralph Roof.
Yep.
They can't do that to him. You know what I'm saying? They can't do that to Bron. Bron is too big of a name.
So Craig Hodges.
Exactly. You know, when you think about
They were ahead of their time doing this.
you know, Kaepernick's whole career was killed. But imagine if Colin Kaepernick was like, I'm trying to think who would probably be the biggest name right now.
NFL? That's
yeah,
black?
like or even if it was Tom Brady.
Patrick Mahomes.
Let's throw this on a fictionary black Tom Brady. Could you imagine what how the impact of attacking a Tom Brady for his political belief? How the NFL would walk that back with the quickness?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a good image and affects the pockets. That's
Exactly.
Money.
Exactly. And so that's why I feel like it's fake. If you have a situation in which your players feel that something's wrong and they want to stand in solidarity with it, you should support them. The one I really respect the WNBA because from day one, WNBA players were making like, you know, hey, we understand it's a system, but we out here doing what we have to do in unison, and it looked good. Whereas it's to me, it seemed like the NBA and the NFL, even Major League Baseball, kind of came back and was like, yeah, we'll support it now that it's the cool thing to do.
And the reason why is because they are in the same shoes as HBCUs, being that overlooked, not being appreciated. So they sympathize, they relate to HBCUs not getting that shine that they feel that they deserve. And
I know y'all took notes earlier.
Yeah.
I know y'all said notes earlier. You know, I'm a stand up for my brother Shaq. That's my Masonic brother. I'm gonna stand up for Shaq. You know, there is his statement may have come off. I don't even think his statement came off as disrespectful. I think Shaq said, hey, you got women's basketball that has we talked about the ball being 28.5, the ball being smaller. The 3-point line is different. All right. So we're talking about a game that we've already altered for women, and he's saying alter it a little bit more, right? He's saying alter it a little bit more because in reality, the support for the WNBA is not there.
I agree with what your wife just said.
It's costing majority of the teams. I don't think I'm going down the wrong road. That is my opinion. I feel like if what his statement was saying, hey, what is the top 10? When we look at Sports Center and we see the ESPN top 10, a lot of times it's dunks. Candace Parker, Brittany Griner were oh my God, Lisa Leslie, oh my God, they dunked. And it became the big thing. It's something that happens oh so rare, right? No. If there's two teams, and if most people are not looking at the regular WNBA game without those players in it, and so a lot of people want to say, oh well, it was disrespectful. Then where's the support for the game? Why is the WNBA struggling financially?
I mean, I would say it's not because they ain't dunking. It's all about the marketing. It's not because
I don't think it's that. I think.
But look at the women's game. Look at what college women's game. And you know the big quote unquote the new blue bloods or the blue bloods of women college hoops. UConn, Baylor now, Notre Dame.
South Carolina.
If you want to throw in, South Carolina now when Staley got there, they really got them on the map. Old school Tennessee. They have the following. They got numbers, and they weren't dunking in their college years.
But hear me out though. Let's be real about certain aspects of women's basketball. We're not talking when you think of women's basketball, you start thinking of the coaches. Don Staley, Gino Auriemma. We start looking at the coaches. We're not necessarily looking at the game. Think about it.
What do you mean?
When you think of women's basketball, who is the most?
Even if it's a well-known coach, you trying to tell me we're not looking at the players and what they're doing on the court? Who goes to the game and see, I got to see him coach over, I got to see that person play good on the court?
Pat
I don't
Summit.
know. Okay, this is new to me. I've never heard somebody say they got to go to the game just to see the coach.
Pat Summit.
But
Again, I know
who did Pat
Tennessee
Summitt
haven't watched
have?
women's basketball.
Who did Pat Summitt have on that team? No, people talked about Shamika Holdsclaw. People talked about
Marciniak used to be a guard.
Hold on. So Shamika Holdsclaw. Tell me what happened after Tennessee.
She went
to the Mystics.
Yeah, to the league. Yeah.
And what did she do after that? So if we talking about marketing and we saying it's that if Shamika Holdsclaw and Candace Park and all these celebrities and all these all-star basketball players, right, go into the league, what happened to? So you're trying to tell me the marketing departments at these schools were that much better than the WNBA?
Apparently, the marketing worked at these colleges because when them players are gone, people are still watching UConn basketball.
Exactly.
Tennessee fell off after Pat Summitt's last year.
School? How about the idea that people are loyal to their school, and if they're winning, if a team is winning, a girls team, boys team, baseball team, random ultimate frisbee team is winning, we'll support it. Black folk all of a sudden was Blues fans when they was on the Stanley Cup train.
Actually, the year before people started because they didn't win, but they got.
But I'm just saying when a team is winning, and the idea of press and coverage becomes the thing.
Wait, you can't.
Then we start supporting.
Well, okay, for Black people, I'm sorry, that's off subject, but you just said when Black people got on the Blues train because they started winning, they were winning for a while. They fell off, but Black folks just weren't paying attention. They've always had the market, just like everybody talking about how soccer coming back. The steamers. When we was growing up, did we not see steamers everywhere, advertisement, all of that? And that was a small market.
I don't know about that, Brian. I do not. I can't.
Well, this thing, the blue. Okay, you just mentioned something where people want to see winning. That's correct. If you got new people, they got to see something winning. Let's see what the St. Louis Soccer Club does. That's gonna be something new team, new for some people. Soccer not new for others. But let's just see how quick they are to win and how quick our fan base is gonna be big or gonna fall off. That'd be a good market or test.
My thing is this: we're comparing that the same superstars who come out of college. When Brittany Griner was at Baylor, her name was on everything. So what y'all telling me is that the marketing directors at the University of Baylor in the athletics department are better than the WNBA?
No.
Maybe not.
No. I'm saying marketing in college basketball, the NCAA, is greater than the WNBA. That's what I'm saying.
You know why? Because there's money in college basketball.
That's my point.
There's money.
But look, there's money in college basketball because the support is there.
That's my point.
So the marketing.
The support is there.
Look at it. What I'm saying is the problem with the WNBA is that if there is no support for the WNBA, then it doesn't matter what you do to change the game if nobody's watching it. Like if the same people who watch NBA, the same people who are watching the college basketball for women, why are they not watching the WNBA? Because really, it's the school that they're loyal to.
All right.
It's not the player.
All right. Question. Here we go.
Yeah.
Give me a rivalry in Major League Baseball.
Yankees, Red Sox.
Give me a rivalry in college basketball.
Men
or women?
Men.
North Carolina Duke.
Give me a rivalry in the NBA.
Lakers, Celtics.
Give me a rivalry in college basketball for women.
Tennessee, UConn.
Give me a rivalry in the WNBA.
Have no idea.
Thank you.
Have no idea. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never watched a WNBA game.
And why is that?
Why? Because I don't like pro sports. It's not that I chose Lakers versus Celtics. When was the last time the two of those have been in the NBA finals?
But you just said, as you just alluded to, how you don't watch pro sports. The people who watch who watch ladies play basketball, especially college.
Mm-hmm.
I truly feel even after 25 years, they still haven't gravitated to respecting the WNBA game. That's the reason why.
And they don't respect the WNBA game because the NBA and the WNBA itself does not respect itself. If the NBA is financially putting to this powerful, and we're going to support women equally like they would in college with Title IX, then why aren't they on the same level? Why haven't they made women's basketball that important? Why? Because most of the women that play professional basketball, we say they're the best, right? What I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is that the marketing leaves. So you're trying to tell me they got entry level marketing people across the whole WNBA? Like, y'all, they're in cities that have NBA teams.
But still,
so you're trying to tell me when the Lakers season is over, there's not spark stuff everywhere?
And it may be there, but unfortunately, it may not be as packed like going to a Laker game. You'll have fans there, but it won't be as packed as going to a Lakers game. So there's still something that's still missing from
what
the game.
Shaq was saying is that the problem with the game is that it's not being supported. The fans aren't coming, and he was giving there's some people, if people view it disrespectful, he was given hey, here's a random thing that I think, my opinion of how the game could get better. Nobody else in 25 years, the game has not evolved. The game has not changed. The marketing has not gotten better. And we've had teams, dissolve and create new teams and all that, and nothing has changed. I think just 2 years ago they finally got women in the NBA 2K game.
Right.
So it's everybody who wants to see those college players have somewhere to go in the United States and not go overseas. Then what is it that the colleges are doing to make their game better? Because and we're making the assumption Tennessee basketball games, South Carolina games, UConn basketball games, those women's games are packed. Go to a SLU women's basketball game if you want to. You got 100 people there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to it. They give away free tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a, and you're talking about Division I.
You know that if they're consistently winning, if SLU women, they've had a couple of good years, but fall off, and if they were consistently winning, let's just say what they've been doing the last 5 years, you would see more butts in the seats. It's in general.
It's a general of winning. I've seen every school, every college go through the same thing. Oh, well, my team is doing horribly, so I'm not going to the game. You'll go do everything else but go to the game. But if your team is winning, all of a sudden, hey, we need to be there.
So with that being said, do you feel that if rims were lowered at SLU, then it'll be from 100 to 1,000 to 1,200 people?
No, you know why? Because there are still some people who don't think women should play basketball, and I'm not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just be real. The idea of women playing sports is not what the masses are paying for. That's what that's unfortunately their own individual inside their head biases. Like, I don't have a bias against women. I love college basketball. I love women's basketball. I coached it. But there are a lot of people out there who won't support it no matter what.
And that's why I said earlier, to me, it's bigger than rims being lowered. It's more to it than
I can see that.
Rims being lowered.
I can definitely see. When you think about, let's say if women, let's say we lower the rims, right? We lower the rims to 9 feet versus 10. And now you have 30% of the WNBA dunking, all right? I think then you have the NBA of the 70s, where you'll have certain superstars who can dunk, and they become the highlight reels, and marketing and promotion goes behind those highlight reels. Think about it. Nobody cared. Baylor basketball before Brittany Griner, nobody cared. Brittany Griner's dunking, all of a sudden everything is Brittany Griner. So it might be, it may not be the best solution, but it might be a choice. It might be something that, just like the NFL will try things out, maybe they should try it out during like a preseason game just to see what it does. It doesn't have to be like the standard rule, but try it out, see what happens. Does it change the game? Because obviously it's going to affect everybody shooting if you lower the rim by a foot. So that's the thing that I really think Shaq didn't necessarily come out to be disrespectful. I think he was just offering an opinion about how to make the game more enticing for people to watch and make more people support it.
So let me ask you this. Because St. Louis has not had an NBA team in 50, 60, 70 years. If we got a WNBA team here instead, will we definitely get the support since we don't have an NBA team here? But it's WNBA.
Y'all want me to be real?
Keep it 100.
I was gonna say is the starting five black?
That means we ain't gonna have them.
Let's be real. We don't have an NBA team and the ABA team that folded because the starting lineups was black.
I mean, hey, think about Bunny. Bunny, think about what Devin Alexander said on our show a few months ago.
Yeah.
About why there hasn't been any more boxing main attractions here in St. Louis, and he trying to bring something here. Right, he trying to bring something here himself. Being a St. Louis guy, trying to bring a big heavyweight fight here, and they giving them all kind of problems because of. Yep.
A lot of people don't realize. Y'all know the Gateway Classic folded after 2013.
Right.
I worked for the Gateway Classic. That was my first job after graduating college. I have never seen someone have to, go through so many hoops. Earl Wilson, rest his soul, man. Hey, he taught me not to kiss ass, man. Cause these companies that was sponsoring and all that, they wanted him to ass kiss so he could have his black game at the Dome. And that man said, I'm gonna make it happen with or without y'all. And that was something that still sits in my mind. You don't need nobody to make something happen that you want to have. And him being a Lincoln alum and wanting one day to get his school in it and making it happen. And so St. Louis is gonna always be St. Louis. So let's not act like that's we got school districts right now going through trouble that if it were based on the same street, if you walk a mile, you see it. If you walk down Hanley and you go and the first school you stop at is Ladue, and then you walk down 2 miles and you at Normandy, that shows you enough that what you need to see in terms of St. Louis. Let's just be real.
We do have a few comments here. I want to go ahead and go over these. You see, your wife says she really.
Hey, my wife ain't got nothing else to do. She
says
she's doing what she's supposed to do, giving out her perspective. Thank you, Maria.
She says she really just think it's the perception of the WNBA in general. Unfortunately, she still doesn't agree that altering the game for women is going to change the issue. Then Ms. Williams says, Art is right. Loyalty to a college team is different than loyalty to a pro team. People will support a college team whether they win or lose because of their feelings about the school. Also, college players are always changing, so the coaches and the school are more constant and get more attention. Then she says, to be fair, he doesn't like pro sports across the board. Yeah, we kind of figured that out after a few conversations with her. Then she says, here's the other thing. Marketing, spend, and revenue go hand in hand. You can't outspend your revenue.
Yep. And when you look at, if you have, you go out there and do all this marketing and you have nobody still coming to the game, you going to empty the piggy bank.
So speaking of that, your thoughts, because I've seen a few of your retweets or likes on Twitter, but what are your thoughts on Deion Sanders and the impact that he has made to Jackson State and for HBCU all together?
So, man, I got a lot of love for JSU, and I'm glad they're on a winning track. I remember when Coach Hughes got fired about 20 years ago, and they went on a run of really, really bad coaches, and so I'm glad that Deion is there. And honestly, what Deion is doing for Jackson State is making people realize the talent's here. Mm-hmm. Everything that the ESPN is wanting to show, and look at the band, the Sonic Boom been there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The talent has been in Jackson, Mississippi. The talent has been on both sides of the ball, and the SWAC conference and the MEAC conference, and the talent has been there. Y'all purposely ignored it.
Exactly.
And so now, because it's Deion, because it's Prime, because it's highlight reel, you got to take the good with the bad. There are some people like he too arrogant. I love the fact that he's arrogant.
Right.
I love the fact that he's arrogant. It's funny. It's funny. I remember I had somebody tell me, well, he's just too arrogant for me. Why he making it about him and not about the kids? You tell me one black celebrity that don't make it about him.
No, take it a step further. If he didn't make it about himself, how much more would be on people looking at the kids over his attention bringing to the kids? Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So let's just be real. Yeah, you want it about the kids, but you need his arrogance to bring more attention to what he's doing and to get these kids on a platform.
And most coaches, again, like Ms. Williams said, it's about the school and the coaches. Players gonna go every 2, 3, 4 years. Deion is putting the shine on this school and every school around it. Every school that plays them, every member of their conference is benefiting, whether they like it or not. Because I'm in a SWAC group where they talk mad crazy about Deion, but everybody in the conference, including my Panthers, Prairie View A&M. Shout out to PV.
Every not the P Valley, not that one for you. Not that
one.
Oh
dang! Oh man! Never mind. Forget that. Forget that.
But,
down in the valley, baby.
Oh my God.
Every school, every HBCU right now is benefiting off of Deion being there.
Right.
Because what happens now, it's not, and like Jay Walker, who's one of the announcers for ESPN, he's getting the fact that, he's getting shine because he's doing all these games. Everybody is eating because Deion is bringing food to the table. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And what I would hope is that some smaller HBCUs try to get on that schedule in the next year or two so they can eat, so they can have the possibility. Edward Waters getting blown out on TV, hey, it happens. There's plenty of HBCUs.
When you get paid, though, should you take that L with the $100,000 to go with it?
Get blown out. But what Edward Waters benefited off that, they were on ESPN.
Right.
Tell them about the check that they received too. See,
not only the check they got. Think about the kid who was like, man, I don't want to go play for Deion. I want to go play for him. I want to go play at that school. That's the benefit of what Deion is doing. He's exposing youth to black colleges that they may not be exposed to. If you're in a town like St. Louis and these kids don't know about the Gateway Classic. They don't know about an Arkansas Fine Blood. Damn. I look at when I look at schools like you have one HBCU football team in the whole state of Missouri. It's Lincoln University.
Right.
You go look at Lincoln's football roster, probably less than 10% are from St. Louis. Why is that? Because they don't know that Lincoln's there.
They don't recruit, the coaches don't either.
And the coaches go recruit Florida and all that, but they don't recruit at home.
I'm gonna tell you,
when you get our kids going to all these big schools and they're going all over the country, why ain't the Missouri schools recruiting?
Well, Missouri just went through that until the new coach. Think about that. And that's a big D1 school, and they still weren't even doing that. That made no sense to me.
I remember a couple years ago when Tyler Hansbrough went to North Carolina.
Right.
The fact that he was from Hannibal, Missouri. There was no way, shape, or form that his name should have got past Columbia all the way to North Carolina. All the way. There's no way.
So it's the same thing with like Otto Porter. He was in some kind of like weird country bumpkin place, and he ended up going to Georgetown. Like what?
And what's funny is remember Michael Porter signed to go like to Washington first.
Exactly.
So that's where they were living up there.
Yeah, you know, but the boy went to Father Tolton. He went to Father Tolton in Columbia.
Right.
He knows a whole bunch of Porters. I don't know if y'all know that. Not just the ones. It's a whole slew of them. It's like 8 of them.
But his Michael and his brother, I remember them playing Cardinal Ritter,
John Tate,
and when they was at Father Tolton, because that was a big game, and like Ritter was a state championship quality team, and Porter and his brother dropped like 60 together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they were in Columbia, I'm glad they end up at Mizzou. But I don't even know where the brother is now. Anybody know where he at?
Yeah, he actually played his first NBA game a few days ago with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Nice. Glad he made it.
John T. Porter.
You know, so it's one of those things. What Deion is doing for Jackson State and the rest of the schools in the conference is giving them exposure. Because what you know, one thing that he now has over a school like, let's say, Middle Tennessee State, what he has over a Georgia Southern, our games are on ESPN, the main lineup. We on ESPN too. You should come to Jackson State versus going to Georgia Southern. That's what he's doing. He's using his platform to expose kids to. He's even in the gap. He's shortening the gap and even in the playing field, and that's what's necessary. For HBCUs. That's what's going to be necessary. I would love to see Jerry Rice go back and do something at Mississippi Valley. His quarterback, the quarterback that made Jerry Rice famous at Mississippi Valley, is the offensive coordinator at Mississippi Valley. So I would love to see Jerry go back there and pick up the reins as head coach. You know, I would love to see these high-level athletes and alums go back to these schools. Or if you're not an alum, you just a guy with a name. You know, could you imagine what type of press we would get if Michael Jordan started coaching at North Carolina A&T? Could you imagine like what would happen if those big names? Look, the fact that LeBron said, "I'm gonna do a deal with FAMU. I'm gonna wear these FAMU shoes."
Chris Paul.
You know what I'm saying? What Chris Paul started doing. He didn't go to Winston-Salem. His parents did. He went to Wake Forest. But he promoted, you know, and if we start getting that across the board, these Division I, Division II HBCUs won't struggle as much. You know, that was one thing I would love to see Harris-Stowe start recruiting area. I hope the next coaches that they hire, because they're both men's and women's jobs. Or I don't know if the women's job is open. I know they had an interim, but I'm not sure if she's gotten a full title. But the men's job is open. And I hope the next coach recruits St. Louis. Because some of our kids don't have the grades to go to some of those big schools. Let's just be real. You can have amazing talent. If you ain't got them grades, you ain't going nowhere.
Yep, that's a problem. Let's speak on that real quick if you don't mind. One of the titles on this show is educator. So you have experience in teaching, is that correct?
Yeah, I've been a high school history teacher. Actually, I've taught more than history, but I've been a high school teacher for 16 years.
Nice.
Been in the game a long time, man. My wife hates it because we can't go nowhere without somebody knowing me as that was a former student.
That's just a South St. Louis thing, though.
Yeah. You know,
is Maria from St. Louis too?
Yeah, she's from St. Louis. You know, going somewhere and somebody yelling out your name, that can be a good thing. It also can be a bad thing depending on where you at.
Exactly.
Yeah, I crossed that bridge for my bachelor party, and first thing I walk in at this place, and somebody run up to me like, "Grimes." No, whole night dead. I don't even get the home.
Got to be more careful.
Exactly.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
You know
what? Then I feel like I failed you. Like, this is where you ended up.
Right.
I failed you.
Hey, you know, that kind of happened to me this past weekend. I was over at Westport Social, and guess who I ran into, Bunny? Money McGee for the first time.
If a girl.
Yeah, because I saw her from a distance. She was shooting hoops with some guys. I knew it was her because I saw her shooting the hoops, and she made every shot in. I'm like, yeah, that has to be her.
She a baller.
So then our coats were at the table that they were sitting at because we got up, me, Jamie, best friend, look, Jonathan, Jonathan and his wife. We all went there, and they sat at our table that we left at, but we had our coats still there. So we was getting our coats, and like she just looked at me for a second, like, DJ Smoooth. I was like, yeah, what's happening? First time meeting in person, but it was mad cool. So yeah, I get it. I go places, and either they know me from DJing or from back in the day, the college years or whatever, or from the sports talk show. So like you said, it depends on what situation you've been in the past. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah, this school year has been crazy, navigating the pandemic, man. But I'm glad to see we had kids on campus at the school I teach at. We had kids on campus for the first time this year, yesterday, and my eyes lit up. I missed the kids. I'm not gonna speak on what school I work at, because we got a whole bunch of other stuff going on right now. Y'all can watch the news, find out what we got going on.
I already know. It came out last week. One of the problems.
I know that, but I ain't talking about it. You ain't about to catch me up on social media. No, you're not. But yeah, it's been a great experience. And one thing I love about being an educator is that I'm right there with the athletes. I'm able to talk to kids and tell them, hey, you're a freshman. You want to play basketball. If you ain't passing my class, you must not really want to play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Being eligible is important. That's what happened. I became a big fan of Harris-Stowe because of a player. And, I started going to games to see this guy play. And then I started working at Harris-Stowe, and this guy is not playing, and I'm just like, man, I really wanted to see him, ball out. But grades is important. It's student athlete. No matter how much the game is rigged, no matter how much money people make off of these athletes, they're still students first.
So tell us more, because I played for Harris-Stowe 2001 season when I was a freshman. And, basketball, it was okay, but it just wasn't like that big thing. How is it now at Harris-Stowe from your perspective?
So last year, games was live. So, last year we had American Midwest Conference Player of the Year, Deshaun Munson, who was from East St. Louis. And Deshaun was averaging like 40 plus a game.
Jeez.
Yeah, like that. So that's what happened. If you remember, Harris-Stowe played Lincoln at the Chaffetz Arena. And my wife and my parents and all of us, we went to support the game. As HBCU alum, I want to support, my local schools. And man, this guy went off. Like, dude had like 51 that game. And after, going to another game, I remember going to a couple games. I even told my dad, I said, man, y'all got to see this guy play. And dude, we went to a game. I think he had like 39 and 13. And he was a point guard. And so you look up like, hey, man, how is your point guard averaging 40 and over 10 rebounds a game? He was the leading rebounder, points, and assists for the team. And they end up winning the conference tournament.
Nice.
But the pandemic shut the national tournament. And so I was excited for this guy, this being his senior year. And unfortunately, he didn't get a chance. He played I think the first 3 games. And those first 3 games, he had 51, 44, and 47. And then, I'm not sure if it was injury or grades or both that kind of took him out the rest of the season. And so this past season, women's basketball was very competitive. I was really excited to see what they were going to do. And Coach Lawson, she took over after 4 games. I think Harris-Stowe had lost 3 or 4 games straight. And Coach Lawson, who's young, when I say young, she's 22, 23, something like that, was literally a college basketball player 2 years ago.
Oh,
and
wow.
she took over as the interim coach, and they went on a winning streak. You know, unfortunately, they didn't win the conference tournament, so they didn't make it to the NAIA tournament. But they did a hell of a job, and I'm glad to see what they're going to build with the players they have. They have a couple amazing players. They got a point guard, Ranisha, who is a great ball handler. She's a great ball general on the court. Serena Finney, good leader on the court. They have a freshman named Kaya Gordon. I haven't seen defense like this in a long time. Like, she's the type of girl that you put on a player and say, hey, don't let her touch the ball, and they probably won't touch the ball.
Mm.
You know, and so I'm excited to see what the girls do. You know, it's probably gonna be a rebuilding year next year for both the men's and women's teams. So, but it'll also be probably, you know, first year under their new coaches, so to give them time to grow.
And shouts out to Joe, our baseball, hockey insider, new mommy. She says that her brother played baseball at Harris-Stowe.
Man,
Okay.
what's really dope, if you get a chance to drive by Harris-Stowe, right on the corner of Market and Compton, Stars Park.
All the renovations, yeah.
So they, I don't know, a lot of people don't know that the Stars Park is actually where our Negro Leagues team played.
Yeah.
St. Louis Stars. And so they went ahead and got plenty of donations and remodeled it and did some, you know, new dugouts, new scoreboards, things like that. And man, it looks beautiful. I'm excited for when I get a chance to call a baseball game, which will be my first time calling a baseball game soon.
Okay.
The staff at Harris-Stowe is just amazing, man. Like, we not just having a great leader in Miss Johnson, but Ben Economan, who's the sports information director, who does just about everything, like, for real. And they have a talented group of kids who actually help work the games. You know, that it's like a family. I feel, you know, they make my job so easy. They make it to where all I gotta do is call the game. And that's been a lot of fun, calling the game, you know, having the stats. You know, we don't got all the fancy promos and on-screen stats like they have on CBS and ESPN. So a lot of times I got to do that research myself and then give that as the game is going on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you next. Just in regards to doing play-by-play, you told us earlier that you first started off, so I want to ask you just to be a PA announcer, then eventually play-by-play. Who are some play-by-play announcers that you may have studied in the past, or once you got into that role that you started studying? And then give us your normal routine getting ready for a game.
So, you know, I grew up, I'm not an NBA fan now, you know, but growing up, like every other kid in our generation, we watched the NBA faithfully, you know. So Marv Albert, you know, was definitely somebody I was like, man, he has a way of doing things, and the way his sound is very unique. Of course, Dickie V, you know, Dick Vitale, and Jay Billis. I just kind of pull from everybody. But if I really want to be entertained while I'm watching the game, I got to have Dickie V there. You know, he's just live. My routine, whenever we have a game, when I get to the gymnasium, first thing I do is grab the rosters and all the stats. I go through, I figure out who's the leading scorers, leading rebounders, assists. I also go in and look at what the free throw percentage is for mostly you can tell, like, the players who have the highest percentage most likely don't take that many free throws. So I go in and kind of get a rough 3 or 4 players with good free throw percentage, and then I kind of make notes on each player. And then after that, I go talk to the coaches, get the starting lineups, make sure I have all the names correct, because trust me, some of these names are a bit much. First and last.
Used to that as a teacher. You used to that though.
Yeah, but see, I've always worked in predominantly black schools. So some of these last names, you know, when you start getting 5, your last name is 10 letters and it's 1 vowel, you know. So that's one thing I do that. And a lot of times I just flow, you know, I just go up there and I watch basketball. And as a fan, you know, I'm calling it out, play by play. Knowing you, it's also knowing the game. You know, knowing football, knowing basketball, being able to do play by play because I know what, you know, I know the difference in motion. I know the difference in zones. I know the difference in different presses and things like that. So you're able to kind of call those out as they're going.
So who else joins you in commentary?
So actually, right now, nobody.
Wow. Okay.
So I think what we had initially said at Harris-Stowe was that we would eventually get a student to do some games with me, but you know, with the pandemic, it kind of made it easier just having me do it. I have like 1 or 2 students who will help with things like keeping up stats and all that, and controlling the camera, etc. But I hope that next season we get a second person. That way you have play-by-play and color commentary. You get somebody who kind of just talks about the random stuff.
Yep, still important. I used to do that back in my.
I was just gonna say, Art. I know somebody.
Let's go, Bunny.
I know somebody. I know somebody.
Bunny, let's do it. Bunny, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let me color commentate.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, outside of Wednesdays, okay, Bunny?
Got
it.
I got you.
You got to put that on a contract. Outside of Wednesdays, then bam, there we go.
Got you. I got you.
We in
I got
the
both
house.
of y'all.
But yeah, man, once again, this has been an incredible show. This is your boy, Smoooth, along with
Bunny
and special guest,
AD.
There it is. There it is in the game, baby. So, I think it's that time. Well, you know what? Before that, I know you had some more notes written down from our earlier topics. So, what was something that we discussed that you want to go ahead and address before we get to our brackets?
Well, we talked about most of it. I definitely want to give a shout out to Live for Life Academy for their women's team winning state. First championship in school history.
Brown. Mm-hmm.
You know, their men's team, I think, made it to the Final Four of Class 2 or Class 3. I can't remember which class they're in. Shout out to Cardinal Ritter College Prep. Coach Ryan Johnson has them. They, you know, the state kind of threw them a curveball. They went from Class 3 state champions to being thrown into Class 5.
I saw that.
And after beating,
I still don't get how you do that in the middle like that. It ain't off of population.
You know, they put them up there. They changed the rule. They said, like, you know, they wanted to stop the dynasty feel. Like, you had schools in football like Lamar who won state championships every year for like 8 or 9 years straight. And so they wanted to stop that dynasty feel. So they figured, you'll play, if you keep beating everybody at your level, we're gonna move you up. And Coach Johnson beat DeSmet and got them into the Final Four. So good luck to them. Chaminade, you know, you can't mention high school basketball in our area without mentioning the dynasty of Chaminade. You know, nobody has the number of NBA players in the NBA right
now. That I will give you to. Chaminade could be coming out with them players who go to the league. You know, Vashon, you know, we know how they are in regards to winning state, you know, but in regards to getting to that next level, you don't see that. That's the only thing that I wish would happen more with Vashon, is that you see these guys going to the league and not just being known in the streets as being, you know, street legends or, you know what I'm saying?
Legends. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shout out to B-Side. You know, I definitely got to show love to Vashon. You know, and it is, I know you said earlier about their women's team. Yeah, I remember when the only thing you mentioned when it came to Vashon was men's basketball.
Right.
Have basketball on both sides. Have a championship caliber is important. So definitely shout out to them. Shout out to spring football players and spring football. I got a chance to be the PA announcer for Normandy and Jennings this past weekend. And spring football, you know, a lot of these schools that are playing spring football are in predominantly Black school districts. Mm-hmm. And you know, I hope we're giving them as much love and much play as, you know, that we gave the DeSmets and the Cardinal Ritters and the Trinities in the fall.
This was brought up some months ago about that. It just seemed like St. Louis County, everybody knows St. Louis County was real tight about COVID schools and no in-person learning in the fall and all that jazz. But football some schools still chose to do it and some didn't. And it seemed like the school, predominantly white district of St. Louis County, played football in the fall and the blacks didn't.
Yeah.
And it was like, why, for some of those white schools, they were black schools in the St. Louis County, they could have played and they chose not to. They would rather go to St. Charles County.
But you know, the other thing was a lot of those white schools were actually in school too. You know.
Yeah, but there's some people that have blacks, or sorry, we gotta go by schools, districts. St. Louis County, still one county, St. Louis County. Yeah. And some of the black schools in St. Louis County were in school towards hybrid. And you could have played them. It was brought up on the news. That's why I'm bringing it up. It wasn't just in between small people.
Having you know, being in those schools, like my school is still virtual. We're not bringing kids back to the end of the month. And not all of our kids are coming back. You know, a lot of our kids didn't want to come back. Their parents are like, no. You know, and there were teachers at these schools that said, nah, y'all not bringing kids back. So what do you bring a kid back to? You bring a kid back to, you know, a bunch of subs because their regular classroom teacher are like, nah, y'all not putting my health at risk. You know, you run into those situations. And, you know, even for me, I got the first vaccine. I'm getting the second one. But, you know, that was something I didn't want to risk that myself. I got kids. I got a wife. I don't want to, you know, run the risk of catching COVID. I've seen people, you know, die from it. You know, we've all seen people die from it. So for the sake of sports, I definitely couldn't. No matter how much I love sports, I wouldn't have dare say, hey, you bring them back so they can play football. Nah, bro, it's not happening.
That's what I feel about the college. We talked about this last fall. I was talking about that with college with football.
The state kind of set us up. The state is basically telling, you know, all the schools now, y'all got to bring y'all kids back for state testing. In the middle of a pandemic, it's not over. You know, but they wanted that. What it is that those rural schools and the county schools and a lot of the predominantly white schools, you know, they went to school. And since they went to school, it's a regular school year for them.
Yeah, because it didn't affect them as much as it affects our community.
Yeah, but you know what though? I can't say that I was told that, well, it affects our community the most. I think it affects them too.
And it did in rural Missouri. I can speak on this. In rural Missouri, they was getting hit hard because they was coming to the St. Louis hospitals because they couldn't even handle it in Jeff City. And it was like, what y'all talking about ain't no man.
Because when you look at the vaccine now, everybody in my family except my parents that had to get the vaccine had to drive at least an hour to get it.
Crazy.
I went all the way to Mizzou to get mine. You know, and it's shocking. You know, school districts are just now, with Johnson & Johnson's shot rolling out, school districts are just now really getting massive amount of shots. I know Ferg, Floor, Normandy, they were like, hey, we got the shot, come get it. But you're talking about it's end of March.
Right.
Some folks have been getting shots for 2-3 months ago. Soon as it was made available. So it's interesting. I just hope the kids that are playing sports right now, I know Hazelwood West has already had to quarantine. So I just hope they're able to get some sort of a season. It's just like the SWAC, watching Jackson State. I actually had tickets for Jackson State's game on the 27th when they play Prairie View, and Prairie View has to quarantine now, so that game is probably going to be canceled.
Damn.
So that's the life of pandemic sports right now.
What was your thoughts in regards to the incident with Patrick Ewing and Madison Square Garden?
Oh man, you know, I think that's some foolishness. The pattern is there. I don't think we need to call it out. Y'all said Spike. Y'all said Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing. Hey, if they go after John Starks next, we might as well just say, hey, we trying to get rid of everything from the 90s with the New York Knicks, and we want to be losers for the rest of our lives.
I don't know, man. They might keep John Starks because he light skinned.
Hey, they might. You know, but shout out to Patrick Ewing. I love the fact that he's at Georgetown. Again, that's when I was talking about those famous alums going back to institutions. I love the fact that he's at Georgetown, continuing the legacy of John Thompson. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that they went on a run and won the Big East Championship.
That was so big for the college, man. So big.
Oh, huge. Georgetown, you know, that's one of those things where Georgetown for me was one of the reasons I fell in love with college basketball. When I started watching big basketball, like Georgetown was the only team that kind of looked like me.
My daddy had us for that reason watching it. Like he did Michael Jordan and the Bulls. We had to watch Georgetown, but I loved it. I mean, you know why? He's pro-black. John Thompson.
Yep.
Put him on the map.
I think the starter jacket I wanted growing up. Y'all remember starter jacket?
Oh yeah, of course.
I wanted that Georgetown starter jacket. Man, so unfortunately, we keep bringing up. There's a common name in all of the conversations regarding people getting stopped going to Madison Square Garden. When Spike got stopped, when Charles got stopped, Patrick getting stopped. It's Dolan. And Dolan is making it pretty much known how he feels. And to me,
what is his beef with them that bad for? Because he sure don't do that to what's that name? When Jackson first got hired by the Knicks, he wasn't doing that. And he's tall. I mean, he ain't black, but you can tell the racial.
You said it. You said it was right. You said it right. You said it right. I just think that really what comes down to is that no matter what you do in this country, no matter how great you are, if you're not the chosen color, then it's gonna be thrown at you. If this was a bottom level security guard, that you tell me what 21-year-old person does not know Patrick Ewing, and they live in New York.
Right.
This ain't me moving to New York and I've never watched basketball before. This is a 21-year-old, which most likely they're older than that. Right. And you tell me that they don't know who Patrick Ewing is? And you work in Madison Square Garden? The man's face is all over the place. Yeah. The Big East tournament is there every year. The Big East tournament is in Madison Square Garden every year. So the idea that people are, we didn't know who he was. We're checking credentials. Please. I bet Jim Boeheim wouldn't have to go through that.
Right.
I bet not one other coach in that. When you talk about legendary coaches and the Big East, Boeheim would have never went through that. None of the names, John Thompson. Come on now, Patrick Ewing built Madison Square Garden. Let's just be real. He's really the only winner in that building. So I feel like it's definitely some underlying issues that tend to equate to quite a few issues in America. Has a commonality with a bunch of stuff. Other than that, I'm ready for some brackets. March Madness.
Let me see here. Before that, did you have any thoughts in regard? I know you say you don't really follow a lot of professional sports, but anything in regards to the Cardinals, anything that you're looking forward to at all for the upcoming season?
I hope we can go to a game.
Right.
I hope I can go to a game. Not being a big pro sports fan, when I was little, I used to love the Cardinals. But I feel like Cardinals management makes horrible decisions.
Tell me about it.
I think every year the fact that there was even a question whether Yachty should finish his career here, that's horrible. Yachty, the same thing with Pujols, and when you're people who have become the face of your franchise and you're questioning whether they should be re-signed, it's ridiculous. I think the first thing that needs to go is our general manager.
Hey, I said that. I definitely said that. John Mozeliak.
Yes, he had numerous times.
I have definitely said that.
It's unfortunate because it's hard to remain a Cardinals fan when, one, they're losing, and two, decisions that everybody in the city sees that are horrible, and you're like, I think it's great. No, it's not. Like we haven't had a good pitching unit in what 10 years. We'll have like one great pitcher, like an A+ teacher and A+ pitcher, and like a bunch of C's and D's. So every fourth or fifth game, we good. Nah, we have to build a bullpen. We have to get some solid hitters with some good on-base percentages, and also make them marketable.
That is correct.
You know, so that way people actually know who they are and actually want to come and support them. So, yeah.
All right. So we are ready. I am uploading a few things here, and then we'll get right into our brackets as we get to the last portion of our show. How have your experience been? Or excuse me, how has your experience been on the platform Sports Talk Show, Art?
Oh man, I'm having a blast. I appreciate you having me. I'm having I'm having a blast. One, kicking it with old friends. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen y'all I see y'all all the time, kind of, but
You
you
do.
with Bun, it's weird because like I've known Bun for so long, you know, and I think Bun, you remember I was driving in one time. You thought I was gonna kill us in the car crash.
Because you do drive crazy, or
I used to drive super crazy
and close.
I thought I was in Fast and Furious. Bun was in the car. You know,
with a Beretta.
Yeah. Oh man, that '94 Beretta. Woo. So, hey Fred, you know when you coming down West Florissant and you got to make that sharp kind of left to like you headed towards like Newstead, headed towards O'Fallon Park.
Oh yeah.
Man, I hit that mug at like 65.
Woo.
Why?
And Bun was in the passenger seat, holding on for dear life.
I don't even know why you were driving that fast.
But yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity just to chop it up with y'all and just talk sports. I love it.
That's what's up. All right, y'all. So the time is here as we get to the last portion of our show. We are about to do some brackets. We have the ladies brackets and we have the men's brackets for the 2021 March Madness tournament. Everything goes down tomorrow with the first four for the men. The ladies, not trying to go back to that topic, but they don't have the first four. It's just going to be going right to the second round starting on Saturday and Sunday. So, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But for the men, at the first four starts tomorrow. Then you have the official second rounds, as they say, starting on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with our special guest and his bracket for the ladies. So we see here that the number one lines, as I said before, Stanford, UConn. Who else is it? Let me go back to it. Oh, Maryland and not Texas A&M. North Carolina State and South Carolina. I said Maryland, so excuse me. Stanford, Maryland, North Carolina State, and UConn are going to be. I'll keep on saying Maryland. South Carolina, excuse me, is the number one seed in that region. So. Mm-hmm. Let's get right into it. We see here that the Final Four, as the road goes into it, he has Georgia beating the number one overall seed and Stanford. You have Baylor overcoming UConn. Then you have South Carolina. Isn't that Don Staley's team?
Yeah.
Have them going to the Final Four. And you have NC State beating out Texas A&M. So pretty much looks like all the top seeds. Well, no, Georgia's the number 3 seed in that division with Stanford. But pretty much straightforward. Then Final Four, once again, Georgia versus South Carolina, Baylor versus NC State. Going to the finals, you have South Carolina versus Baylor, and then winning the whole thing, South Carolina, in which they won, 2 years ago? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Beating Baylor. Bunny didn't, unfortunately, she didn't have enough time to get her ladies bracket together, but she did say hers a few weeks ago on Ladies Night. Bunny, do you recall your Final Four and your winner? Oh, actually, she said she'll be right back. So we'll go ahead and go right to Stan's. His Final Four. He has Oregon beating Stanford. Now, Stan loves Oregon Ducks. So just so you know. He has Wyoming. And Wyoming is a 14 seed. Going all the way, beating South Carolina and going to the Final Four. Then in the other division, he has Iowa, or region, excuse me. He has Iowa going. UConn's going to be losing in the second round. That's wild. And then he has Michigan State going. So you have Oregon versus Wyoming, Iowa versus Michigan State. And then going to championship game, you have Oregon versus Iowa. And no shocker, he has the Ducks winning. For myself, I pretty much have it. All the top seeds are going to the Final Four. Stanford, South Carolina, UConn, NC State, and I am, in the finals. Stanford versus UConn, great theater, great everything, and I have Stanford winning the whole thing. Now, let's get into the men. And Art, if you want to, explain any of your reasons, feel free. So
with the women, or just with the men?
Well, if you want to go ahead and talk about the ladies real quick, feel free.
All I'm gonna say is that I grew up with a big crush on Dawn Staley, so I'm always, show love for Dawn Staley. And for Baylor, a good friend of mine, her niece is a guard at Baylor, and I got a chance to check her out a couple times, and she nice, man. So I was just like, hey, I wasn't able to catch an NC State game, so really that's what kind of determined my pull for Baylor over NC State. I definitely think UConn is going to be distracted. They have a lot of good teams in their region, and I think they'll be distracted with Gino Auriemma kind of having to sit out. That's why I could see them possibly losing in the first or second round. But I don't. We're talking about UConn. Whether Gino's on the sideline or not, I think they'll be good. So I think they'll struggle with Baylor, and that's why I got Baylor up.
All right. So let's go ahead. Still waiting on Bunny to get back. So we'll go ahead and go right to the men's. So you have going into the Final Four. You have Iowa beating the number 1 overall seed Gonzaga in the Elite Eight. You have BYU facing off against St. Bonaventure in the Elite Eight, and BYU going to the Final Four. In the South, you have Baylor, number 1 seed, beating out number 2 seed Ohio State. And then you have, shocker, Houston, a number 2 seed, beating number 1 seed Illinois in the Midwest. So then in the Final Four, you have Iowa versus BYU, Baylor versus Houston. Then going to the finals, you have Iowa versus Baylor, and Baylor all the way. Stanton. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me make sure. Stanton. Pull up his, wrong one. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and pull up Bunny's real quick. So Bunny, she has Gonzaga facing off against VCU in the Elite Eight. Gonzaga going to the Final Four. Michigan versus Texas. And a few weeks ago, we had Courtney Ramey's father, Terrell Ramey, on the show, facing off once again against Michigan, Juwan Howard, but Bunny has Michigan going to the Final Four. Midwest, Clemson beating Illinois in the Elite Eight, going to the Final Four. And then the South, Villanova beating Florida, going to the Final Four. Final Four matchup, Gonzaga versus Michigan, Villanova versus Clemson. Michigan with a huge upset, Villanova beating Clemson, and Michigan wins the whole thing. Stanton, he has Gonzaga versus Oregon. Once again, no surprise. Just letting y'all know. In the Elite Eight, Oregon winning, LSU and Texas in the Elite Eight. LSU winning that game. North Carolina and Ohio State. North Carolina winning that game. Shouts out. There are, Art, I know you can attest, there's like over 13 local area men players playing in the tournament this weekend. Yeah. So shouts out to them, man. Making St. Louis proud, doing a damn thing.
Caleb, you got Courtney, you got quite a few out there, man.
Quite a few out there. So shouts out to them. Once again, North Carolina going to the Final Four. Then you have Tennessee and Clemson. Tennessee winning that matchup. So the Final Four, Oregon, LSU, UNC versus Tennessee. Oregon, UNC going to the championship game, and Stanton chose North Carolina. And now, my bracket for the men. Gonzaga faces off against Iowa. Luka Garza, that dude is a beast, but Gonzaga would be too much in the West. Michigan versus Texas. I'm going for Courtney Ramey and them. They got a lot of athletic skill guys, and Shaka Smart, you know what he did back then with VCU. So I have Texas going to the Final Four. Midwest, I love what Illini is doing right now. Ayo, the sumo, that dude is something else. They call him the masked mamba right now, doing a damn thing. Yeah. And then Houston, number 2 seed. Illinois going to the Final Four. Then Baylor and Ohio State. That should be a great matchup. Shouts out to E.J. Liddell doing his thing at Ohio State, another local guy. Mm-hmm. And Baylor going to the Final Four. So I have Gonzaga versus Texas, Baylor versus Illinois, Gonzaga and Illinois facing off for the crown, and this would be the breakthrough for Illini. Bunny, did you want to discuss your reasons for your picks for the men?
I just like to see a couple of upsets. I usually try to at least get 1-12 seed to go Sweet 16 route, and at least in the Final Four, I try to get one person or one team that's not a 1 or 2 seed. It happens pretty much every year. I just try to gauge and try to work a bracket buster could happen, but overall, I don't always put my passion for certain teams to go all the way. I be realistic too. So.
And, you know, it's all for fun. You know, we're just trying to just, you know, have a good time with it, because you know how these brackets, they easily get busted after the very, very first game of the tournament. Even the first 4, there you go, I'm done, whatever. So bottom line.
That's why I've seen it more recently. People do not just a full 68. They'll do just up to the Sweet 16, or start the bracket at the Sweet 16 mark, or they'll do it, you know, kind of switch it up instead of the whole thing. So
I think that takes the fun out of it. If you, you know, what messes up your bracket is, I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago when Rhode Island upset somebody in the first round there? I was like, not one person I know picked Rhode Island. And if you said you picked Rhode Island, you were lying.
Yeah. You know, you talking about that team that beat Virginia, the number 1 seed?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Yep.
I was about time a 16 be the number 1, but what happened the next year? VA won it all.
Right.
So
right.
You know,
blessing in disguise for them.
looking at the brackets, I think this year is going to be the year that there's not going to be one of those lower seeds that go on a deep run.
Right.
I think the because of the pandemic and because of that, you had a lot of teams who kind of played conference schedules and not a lot of outside talent. So I think that's going to hurt some teams. I think Iowa is one of those teams that's going to be in stride. Luka Garza is an amazing player, and if he's hot, I don't want to be in the gym. That's going to be one of them guys who will shoot you out the gym. I think Illinois is they're one of those teams that they can be exposed early, and that's why I don't have them winning, because if you watch them against Mizzou, and don't get me wrong, when Mizzou played them, Illinois was kind of in the middle. They were still trying to figure some things out, but I think Mizzou did a great job of pressuring Illinois to cause a lot of turnovers. And if you can make a Mizzou team who is not even in, who's not a top seed, who definitely blew a shot at being a higher seed by some losses that they shouldn't have had. I think if that team can beat Illinois, I think a lot of other teams can. I know Bunny said something about loyalty team or being loyal to a team. Mm-hmm. Did any of y'all have Mizzou losing in the first round?
I did.
Besides me,
I didn't.
I have Mizzou losing to Oklahoma.
And which
I couldn't see them beating them. I couldn't see them getting past the first round. That's why I said I put the fans and excitement and passion for certain teams. I put that on the side because I would have put Georgetown all the way. Yeah. I ain't crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, y'all.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Mizzou did lose, but I'm hoping that we get the right Mizzou team to show up for a Saturday game against Oklahoma. But the team is just so inconsistent. They desperately need to get a guy who is nothing but just, hey, you know what? Give me the ball.
Yeah,
I got y'all. Like the Sumo for Illinois. He just, hey,
I really
here, get the ball.
I really
do your
thought
thing.
Torrance Watson was going to be that guy. I really thought Torrance Watson was going to be that guy.
Yeah.
When he was in high school, man, you talking about a man who you put the ball in his hand. I didn't know who Torrance Watson was until I started being the PA announcer for Ramey's Shootout.
Yeah.
And when I started Ramey's Shootout,
he was on Whitfield's team, but I know he's one of Ramey's boys.
And one thing Ramey would do is make sure, some of his best was at the shootout. And seeing Torrance at that shootout, I was like, oh man, he's going to Mizzou. He's going to be the guy.
I mean, he was averaging like 30 points a game in high school.
But let me ask y'all this though. Kim Anderson recruited him or Kwanzaa? That was Kim Anderson's guy, right?
I think that was Kim. I think it was.
And that's why I think some of this has to do with his playing time, where he's coming off the bench, and even off the bench, he's not getting a lot of minutes now. I think that has something to do with it.
No, but I also think even at his first season at Mizzou, he was.
That's Kwanzaa?
Yeah, that was Kwanzaa.
So it might, even if it's Kwanzaa's guy, I really think that his first season he was so sporadic up and down that season that it really kind of hurt his, the faith in him, I guess.
And his confidence.
Yeah, because I didn't realize until last season. I'm like, why don't I see Torrance anymore? He was recruited really well.
He was that deal. Like, I could only imagine what a St. Louis All-Star team looked like. Could you imagine just Ramey and him in the backcourt? Like, Ramey and him. Yeah, imagine if Torrance was at Rose or Ramey was at Whitfield. The two of them in the backcourt together.
But see, all right, so here's what I've seen from Torrance Watson. This is what I've seen from his game, is that he hasn't shown me in the college level that he can attack the rim. He's only showing me that he's a spot-up shooter. And spot-up shooters get locked down easily because you don't have no other moves. He rarely
and especially on a collegiate level. High school you can get away with it. College.
Yeah. He rarely takes the ball down the court and says, I got this set up, whatever, or I'm gonna take my man to the one-on-one. He doesn't show those moves. I don't know how he was in college outside of me seeing the stats that he scored 30-some points a game. but maybe the competition just wasn't as good as it is in college. But he just hasn't shown me that he can attack the rim and create more shots outside of shooting a set shot. And he just been stuck doing that. And he has to learn, something.
Yeah.
Evolve his game. Just like I talk about Tillman didn't evolve his game, not in time.
Right.
Yeah. Mizzou had some really good names coming when they were coming out of high school, but it's just something about that system.
Right.
Or maybe it's and I also look at it as the SEC is tough, period. Yeah. I don't care what sports you're playing. Mm-hmm. And when you start talking about Florida and Alabama and Tennessee and normally Kentucky, when you start talking about that type of talent and you putting our best on there, like I said, I thought Torrance was going to be the guy. Unfortunately, it didn't necessarily work out like that. But Mizzou to finally get over that hump in the SEC, they're gonna have to do the same thing they did. The same thing that they have to do in football is we're gonna have to go after better. We're gonna have to go after higher recruits, better recruits, and our coaches have to figure out a way to play down the stretch. Because both football and basketball, they start off with these really, really high hopes and these really high, early season wins. And then somehow, like mid-season, close to the end of the season, it just all goes to hell.
I can specifically speak for Mizzou basketball. When they were good and they had the little streak going good again, they didn't know how to close out games.
Yeah.
That's really important because Georgetown had the same problem. Granted, Georgetown had a couple of, rookies, freshmen. And with this Big East tournament, it's all clicking together finally. And with Mizzou basketball, at least the men's side, same thing. They would have it and then it would fall off. And I'm like, if y'all would close out games, y'all would not be sitting here some like 4 of their games. They didn't close out and they end up having a lead with, let's say, 6 minutes left in the game and they lost it. And when they was already trailing by 10 by the second half, that's one thing. But they would have leads and lose it.
They
close
lost
out
so many games.
You got to be better at that.
I can look at Mizzou's schedule and say at least 8 games that they were supposed to win that they end up losing. And that's the fact that they have lost. The fact that they got an 8 seed or what are they're
9 seed.
They're 9 seed. The fact that they're a 9 seed. If you would have told me that this team was a 9 seed the day after they beat Illinois, when they
were a top 10 team.
When they played,
exactly, that's what's crazy. They got that far up because they was rolling.
It's like, to me, I almost look at it as what's behind the scenes that we don't see. Because this was a like almost, I ain't gonna say an epic meltdown. An epic meltdown if they wouldn't have made the tournament at all. But this is definitely a meltdown. Well, some of those losses down the stretch.
There were games in which they had like 13-point leads in the first half. In the second half, they just lost all offensive thoughts and skill. Like, it just went away.
And it's not from streaky shooting. Sometimes it's the strategy. Every coach adjusts at halftime, whether you're up or down. If you don't adjust right, you're on a losing end. And I think sometimes they didn't adjust right.
And because I don't want it to be like, oh, I don't think Kwanzo's a good coach. I think he's a great coach. But what there has to be from Mizzou and, going forward, even in this tournament, the adjustments that take place on the fly, as well as the adjustments that take place at half, have to be something that is grow. Like, they have to constantly grow. They can't do what they've done where they go and they get these wins that we're like, man, that was close.
Right.
They have the chance to beat Oklahoma. I don't think that I didn't put them that they were going to beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma has their second leading scorers out this game.
Exactly.
So they have a chance to beat them. But again, Mizzou is a good enough team. If they can get past Oklahoma, they're going to give Gonzaga hell.
And I'm going to say the key.
I'm going to tell you why. That's how streaky Mizzou is.
Right.
If Mizzou plays really well to get past Oklahoma, if I'm Gonzaga or if I'm a Gonzaga fan, I'd be scared. And now, if the Mizzou plays like they've been playing,
no.
Oh, that's why I got them in the past the first round. I'm expecting the same Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they give me the Mizzou that was up to top in the top 10, everybody need to be on alert. Because they can
get them from. How do we get that from them consistent? That's why I said closing out games is part of it.
But that's
when
the
it was
beautiful thing
rolling,
about
even if you have one loss, you bounce back. But they didn't bounce back right.
But that's the beautiful thing about March Madness. If he somehow figures out how to turn it on, keep it on, and finish, they very well could end up in the Sweet 16.
But hey,
I don't think they'll go past that.
To me, it all goes down to how bad do you want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it all goes down to.
They want it.
How bad do you want it? You're going to get that extra foul. You're going to do that extra dive for the ball. You're going to sit there and make sure you do some more charges. What are you doing to sacrifice?
And their defense. They need to hold teams under 80 points.
Are y'all going to start trapping more? Are they going to start flashing a trap here, trap there? What?
They don't have enough shooters on that team to go in the shootouts.
Exactly.
Teams. They gotta play defense.
Not consistently. They don't.
Well, I feel bad more trapping. Let's flash something.
Like this is Tillman's senior year, right?
Say what?
This is Tillman's senior year, right?
Yes, it is.
I would hate to see him finish a career
and
not really have something to be like, man, we did this.
Right.
Like his career, he's promising every year.
Yep. And don't deliver.
And then
he's their highlight every year. And then you look, be like, man, if they don't make a run in this, I'm gonna be like, man, that's a wasted talent.
For 4 years.
Yeah. The amount of anticipation we had to see him ball and the expectations that were placed in front of him, I think if they don't make a run in this tournament, this season is not going to be good enough for me. I think that really he's going to be unhappy with what is out there or what was left on the court.
Tillman?
Yeah.
But what the Tillman we see now, that should have been in Tillman sophomore year. That's why I said he took too long to evolve his game.
Yeah.
What he plays now is good, but it's not going to get him to the NBA.
Tillman sophomore year really couldn't. We wanted him to ball like that. But think about it. If he would have balled like that sophomore year, would Michael would have been would Jonte and all them been happy? Probably not.
I mean, hell, Michael wasn't playing, and Jonte.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said, everybody else. The problem 2 years ago was guard play.
Right.
But no, he didn't evolve as a big man. But think about this. This is the first year. He's with his fourth year. First year, this boy has not gotten into foul trouble in hardly any game. Every year he was played, whether he was injured some of it or the full season, was he not always in foul trouble? He only got like 10 minutes in the first half. He was always in foul trouble. And the other part of that, he didn't evolve as far as the shot.
Game. But that also lets me know that they didn't necessarily recruit, because the I can't think of his name, the light-skinned guy that will come in for him. He comes in and picks up some very ridiculous fouls.
Yeah, you talking about now or you talking about the years ago?
Now, the guy now.
You talking about Parker Brown?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen he comes in and he makes some sloppy plays.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I was talking about Tillman's play is not for the team itself, but for him evolving to go to the NBA.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Dude.
I'm
That's
sorry.
what I'm saying. His game didn't evolve enough.
I'm sorry. You talking about Mitchell Brown?
Yeah, light-skinned guy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm afraid for what happens. The talent that we do have.
I mean Smith. Sorry.
When he
Three times the charm.
Right.
When this squad graduates, I'm wondering what Mizzou basketball is going to look like after.
Woo! I said the same.
I don't know who this Quanzo got on the recruiting trail.
That's the thing. Have you all heard of a big name?
Not a huge household name, but they do have a few 4-star recruits.
I hope to. It bothers me when I see talent here not choosing in-state schools.
Yeah,
and he's brought that up a few times.
But part of that is
when you had Quanzo, you brought that up to him too, right? Smoooth.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we had Quanzo.
He asked him directly.
We had Quanzo on the show.
And that, as long as we keep losing kids, when you got kids like the kids at the V, the kids at Chaminade, the kids at Cardinal Ritter, and these kids have championship caliber because they've been to the tournament every year. these blue blood high schools, and their kids are going elsewhere.
But that's why I'm glad he did get Tillman coming from East St. Because remember, Tillman was committed somewhere else and changed his mind when Kwanzaa got hired. I'm glad that happened because that hopefully puts the pendulum swinging in Mizzou's direction to get more.
Yeah, but think about that was 4 years ago. What has he gotten since?
And then Mark Smith transferred. You know, he's from Edwardsville, but he transferred as well to Mizzou. That's Kwanzaa. And funny thing, I was thinking about it. Illinois wasn't as good last year like they are this year, and Mark was on that Illinois team. So will he be on his ranked team? Who knows? But
I'm interested to see. I'm glad the tournament tip off tomorrow.
Yeah. So we did talk about the local teams, Illinois and Mizzou, but there's one team we did not discuss who I know Bunny and I felt should have made the tournament, and that's SLU. Pretty much, COVID was the number close. I'll say 1A to the reason why they was not chosen. Yeah, they came back. Yeah, they played some games. Yeah, they did lose like four of their last 6 games. So yeah, that's true. But by the time COVID struck, they were like 7-1. They were ranked top 25. They were hitting their stride, and then bam, the whole season changed, and they just couldn't get that consistency back again. And it's sad because they had a lot. Like I said a few weeks ago, I felt SLU was better than Mizzou.
I agree.
I agree. I think they were better. But you also have to look at it like this. What the difference in those two programs, SLU also plays in a conference that's not as strong.
That's true.
They lost some games down the stretch that they should not have lost at all. Like, we talk about Mizzou's streakiness, but the fact that when SLU came back, they lost some games that definitely should not have been in the L column for them.
Yeah. And
on top of that, they did the best they could. They ran into a very tough St. Bonaventure team. And if you all see, I have the Bonnies going pretty far.
Yeah, you do.
That team is strong, and a lot of people, I like to pay attention to the smaller conferences. I don't like watching Big 12 and Big 10 basketball all the time. I want to pay attention to those smaller conferences that don't get a lot. I use my ESPN Plus more than anything. I watch a lot of those games that aren't on regular TV, and the Bonnies are tough. They have they have a very a wealth of spread talent, and the big thing about them, their 6th and 7th man are just as prolific scorers as their top first 5. And so when you got a bench that can come off and give you the same offensive productivity, that's what really does it, especially down this stretch.
Yeah.
And so, that's what we talked about SLU, we talked about Mizzou. What's their problem? You start subbing people in, you start losing points. And so SLU, unfortunately, they got the short end of the COVID stick. I almost look at it as that's what happens when your superstar gets injured.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have anybody, if for whatever reason they didn't practice, they didn't do this, or they were out of shape, or whatever the case may be, I know they were off for like a month.
Right.
It was right before Christmas, all the way to mid-January.
What they should have done is, they should have closed the games out. We talk about Mizzou finishing. They should have figured out a way to close those games out. And you're talking about a team that going in, I think today was the deadline. They even if they needed 2 or 3 teams to opt out to even get in the tournament.
3 teams. Yep.
Now I would love to see. I was watching the NIT tonight. If SLU doesn't win the NIT, then everything that we're saying shows that it wasn't the COVID, it was them. Because they've had 7 or 8 games since COVID.
Yeah, and had opportunity to at least establish. Okay, you got that one win. Now you win. Bunny, tell us your Final 4 for the ladies and your winner.
South Carolina. I don't want to say UConn, but UConn, even with Gino out with COVID, UConn can still pull it off. I want to stick with the tradition and say Baylor. I could. And last one, Stanford.
And your winner?
Why not Stanford?
Why not? All right.
We'd rather say South Carolina. Actually, I'm actually changing to South Carolina. But yeah, we'll stick South Carolina.
So breaking news over the last hour, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's widow, reveals names of the officers who allegedly shared helicopter crash scene pictures. So she's on the warpath, because you know how she was, and we all understand you are an officer of the law. Ain't no way you should be taking photos like you just a regular person and sharing details to other people like, yo, this is Kobe Bryant. He's dead, stuff like that. So that's part of the lawsuit that she has against the Los Angeles County Sheriff's and Fire Department. And yeah, she posted all the officers. So their names are out there. So to them officers, y'all about to be public enemy number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because people don't play about Kobe Bryant.
You about to lose your job.
I'm just saying.
You about to lose your job.
Yeah, that in this day and age, what they did was definitely immoral, and it was the lowest of the low. And for whatever reason you did it, but I don't know if they was doing it for clout, if they was doing it just for fun. At that point in the game,
ain't no fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even if it's your own family member, like how people do that at funerals, like
that's the one thing I hate when I see somebody take a picture of a dead body. Be like, bro, it's disrespectful. It's out of line, And so I really hope that eventually the Bryants get some peace, and to those officers, hey, it's so hard to support. I got some friends that are police officers, man.
It is hard.
But it's so hard to just support some of the foolishness that comes from the boys in blue these days.
I mean, but look, check this out. On the report, it says that one deputy took between 25 and 100 photos on his personal cell phone, including some focused solely on the victim's remains. How sick?
Probably sell it to somebody.
How sick can you be? And you, like I said, you are a deputy.
They don't care. How sick can they be when they killed unarmed black men? Not saying everybody, but
Yep. It said many other photos were quickly shared through text messages and the airdrop feature on iPhones to other deputies within the sheriff's department. It says that one of the deputies stored photos from the crash site in his personal phone and shared them with others unprompted for no reason other than morbid gossip. Crazy. That's crazy.
I hope she take all their pensions.
Every single cent.
And you know what? She don't need the money. I hope she just distributed to random folks.
Yeah. So that is our show for the evening. It's been fun. It's been it's been some great debates. That's what the show's about. Getting your point across. So Art, incredible job, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Once again, let me see. Oh, Maria says, "Yep, agree 100% with Bunny." In regards to Maria, let me know real quick what you're referring to, since we just saw it. I don't wanna assume. Just want to make sure what she agrees with. But once again, I want to give my condolences. I just found out doing the show that one of our guests, who's been on the show 2 times now, Coach Jason Adriel Betts, his wife Cassidy, they've been married for a few years now. She just recently passed away a couple of days ago. And like I said, I was just watching, just browsing through social media, and found out about the passing. Okay. So just want to give my condolences to him through this hard time, and just definitely prayers up, because that just really hit me for a minute. I'm like, whoa. So prayers out to him. He actually texted me back during the show. Says he appreciates the
that's
love.
good.
Yeah, told him that I showed him love during the show. He appreciates it, but definitely prayers out to him. Her visitation is this weekend. It just, like I said, I'm just floored right now. So for those out there, we seen the people in St. Louis. I was just telling my lady Jamie about it, like how these people just driving crazy on these streets all of a sudden. These last few months, years, whatever, here in St. Louis, like they don't value life. You know what I'm saying? Take this time now to get right with the Lord, bottom line. Because if you don't get right, you're going to be doing stupid stuff that's going on out here in these streets. So value life, value each other. Just appreciate every second you have in life, man, because you just never know what can happen any given second. But with that being said, it's been a great show. It's a platform, Sports Talk Show. Make sure y'all leave them likes, them shares. Go on YouTube, subscribe, click on that. There we go, on that bell, because anytime we go live,
you will be notified.
There we go. Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smoooth, along with
Honey
and special guest
AD. Thank y'all.
Been our pleasure. AD, stay on real quick after we leave from the live stream. All right.
All
right, y'all. When it's about sports,
it becomes our business.
And business just picked up. With that being said, we out. Right. We out. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.